Let me just tell you, everybody, there's nothing more liberating than trimming your pubes in a hotel room. Welcome back again to another edition of the Oh No Radio Show. My name is Owen. This is episode 100. This is episode 641. Let's have some fun. Along with me tonight, my good friend Mike B.
Hey, baby.
How you doing, Mike?
Venti B's in the house, and I'm feeling fine.
Good. No Ty tonight. His D&D dice addictions have got the better of him. And you said...
He's a goblin, bro. He's a goblin.
And you said that you were jealous that you'd rather be playing D&D than doing this show.
I did not say that.
That's what I heard.
Well, because you've got selective host hearing. I said I'm always jealous when people are playing D&D because I do love playing so much. What I am jealous of is that he plays most of his games in person, and I play none of mine in person.
See, that surprises me. I thought you'd at least have one game that you'd play in person by now.
I mean, my weekly game, I wish I was playing the weekly game in person, because, oh man, I have so little social interaction outside of work.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I play all my stuff online just because it's easier to get everyone together.
But you know all the people. Like,
actually,
in the real world.
In the weekly game, I only honestly know the Dungeon Master. Everyone else is like, I just got invited to this game because I played the monthly game so well with him. I got invited. And that happens a lot. I get invited to a lot of games and stuff because of what I do here. People hear me on Tom and Dan. I've been invited to other games.
Nice. Just like me, I get invited to podcasts all the time. I'm doing Scotch and Good Conversation tomorrow.
Again?
I know, right? He must be desperate. He wants me back in, and I think it's just going to be me and him.
What don't we know about you at this point, Owen?
I know. What don't we know about Peter? I just think he obviously didn't have another random indie bus driver from an indie band that he could call in.
I mean, did he run out of roadies
Yeah.
and guys from bands that haven't been popular in 15 to 20 years?
Yeah.
I love Peter. Bro, you know I love you, dude. But you do have some like obscure random ass dudes on your pod.
Yeah, it's definitely like that. It's definitely like that. But anyway, yeah, so I'll be doing that. I don't know when that comes out. He's usually a couple weeks behind on the way he releases things, but not like our show, not like True Professionals where it's released the night of the recording.
At least half of it.
At least half of it, exactly. But no, it's good to be back home. It's good to be off the road for a little bit. I've got 3 weeks or just close to, mini vacay before I start my new job.
Nice.
So yeah, I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna be working really hard. I need to cool it down a little bit. I worked a lot this year.
I worked 1 week in a row, and now I go, I gotta pump the brakes on all this jobbing I'm doing.
Yeah. So I was in Kentucky. I was in Louisville, Kentucky. I mean, mixed opinions.
So do they fly the Trump flags openly there?
Oh yeah,
like on the flagpoles with like right under the America flag.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much that. It's exactly what you'd think. Yeah. The city's nice enough. I was in a decent enough hotel, and the city was nice enough. Like, there's a couple cool areas where you can get some good drinks and some decent food. So, I mean, it could have been a lot worse, but It was cold. It was cold. I mean,
Oh yeah.
we had a bit of a chilly day today. Our temperatures have just dropped, considerably overnight.
I didn't put on pants at all. I'm still in shorts.
Oh, did you go outside today?
Yeah, I've been outside walking around. I
Okay.
went to Publix, walked around the plaza over there, went to Five Below and Ross and Burlington.
I was in shorts a lot of the day, but that's because I was doing some very serious home renovation stuff, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But yes, I definitely had worked up quite a sweat. But yeah, all in all, Louisville, not that bad. Not in a rush to go back. You know what I will say about Louisville? A lot of really cool black people. Met a lot of really cool black people in
Well,
in
yeah.
Louisville. Just a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of down to earth folks. Just my types of people, homies.
Oh, you're. I didn't know you were big in
Yeah.
the black community.
Yeah, pretty big deal. I mean,
Oh, okay.
Black Twitter's like my favorite thing on the internet.
I didn't even know you were allowed on Black Twitter,
I'm
Owen.
not, but they gave me a pass to at least I can't post. But I can read and lurk.
You can observe.
I can observe. Yeah.
That's fair
And
enough.
that's what I felt like Louisville was. It was like a real life Black Twitter.
Oh, I really was. I was nervous where you're gonna go with
No,
that.
what do you think? What do you think I was gonna say?
Zoo?
Oh no, that's not what I was gonna say at all. I will say though that I did find something super liberating while I was there, and it's something that my friends that are on the road have told me about in the past, and that it's like, why not, if you're gonna trim your body hair and your pubes, why not take advantage of a good hotel bathroom, good lighting, good mirrors. You don't have to worry about the cleanup. And yeah, it felt fantastic to clean myself up and not have to hear it from my wife after the fact that I got pubes all over the toilet or whatever. And so yeah, it felt really good. Left housekeeping an extra. I gave him a $5.
Oh, for swiping up your pubes.
Yeah. I felt that
So
was
now hold on. How many days were you in this room?
uh 5 days, 5 nights.
5 days. And
Yeah.
on which day did you pube the place out?
3 or 4. It was towards the end. Yeah.
Why wait so long to dress up your dick and balls?
Well, because you got to do it. You want to be clean for when you come home for your wife, number one, right? So you got to get maximum. And also, I don't want the housekeepers to get mad at me on day one for pubing up the place. So I did it towards the end. It makes sense, right?
I guess a little bit. I mean, maybe I would have done it if it was me.
No, it was you.
I'm either doing it day one and establishing dominance over the hotel room and the hospitality staff.
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm going to be a dick, but I am going to be like, hey, day one, this is the kind of stuff I'm doing. There's money here already. Day one, I'll probably put it right in the pile of pubes and be like, so they know
this is for the pubes.
Money's for the pubes.
Pubes equals money. So I would almost get more excited if more pubes came.
Yeah, it's like a Pavlov for a dog.
Yeah.
This way, when they see pubes, they're like, "Oh hell yeah, ka-ching!"
There's gonna be money in this. Yeah,
gonna be money, baby.
Yeah. So I did do that, and I will say that the service was adequate. I did not have any major problems. This hotel was in a relatively nice area. A lot of it was right by the convention center, so a lot of corporate-y stuff, around there, right? But right outside my window, I could see it, and I was kind of fascinated watching the comings and goings of this place, or even really the lack thereof, was that there was a porn store that had a adult movie theater room, like they had its adult movie theater inside the porn store.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
I've been in porn stores. I have never been in one that has an adult movie theater, and I was going to ask you if you had.
Okay, so there was a point when I was like probably like 23. I had just come back from living in St. Augustine and I was single again. So
Hmm.
I was like extra horny,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like really charged because I wasn't getting any and I
And you're
was
23.
and I'm 23, so I'm just probably like
Peak
peak
horniness.
peak horniness for a dude. Um and I do remember consistent like I would drive out to Orlando from Titusville to like go to bars and go to clubs
Sure,
and like
sure,
try
sure.
and meet girls that weren't the girls I'd been seeing for
Right.
5
You're
years
looking
now.
for some grade A skanks.
Yeah, I was actually just like scoping around to like fuck girls.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
that's
some
what it was.
grade A skanks.
Yeah, I was out there pea
In your
hunting.
case, grade D skanks.
I was shooting for like
C
C
plus, B
high
minus.
C's, low
Yeah.
B's.
Okay. Okay.
I was being realistic. Like
It's
I'm a
fair.
low C myself,
Right.
so yeah, maybe I was shooting a little bit out of my league.
Yeah.
But so I do remember constantly when I was driving over. It's on Colonial, right around where I believe Sci-Fi City used to be, right before that Cimarron overpass.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm gonna be super specific so all of you not living exactly where we live have
Right.
no
No
clue.
clue. It doesn't matter at all where it really was.
But
Used to.
there was it looked like a little warehouse, and the front of it was like an adult either I think it was an adult video store, but I had heard from several people that they had a movie theater in the back.
I do remember this place. I did not know. I don't think I ever went in that one, and I
Mm-mm.
did not know that it had a adult movie theater in the back.
And there was a period of time where I was, "Hey, what's up, SJ? See you in the chat. How you doing, buddy?" There was a period of time where I had watched porn, obviously,
Right.
and I had this idea that I could go into the movie theater
Uh-huh.
and there would be, like, girls in there too,
Right.
and
And you might be able to,
anonymous hand job, maybe a titty grope.
right? A glory hole situation.
Maybe, yeah, dude, there was a point, like, right before I met my wife where I was like, let's just see where things are." Like, if I could have reliably found a glory hole,
You would have done it.
I might have done it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, there would be times where it'd be like 5, I'm driving over to my friend's house over in Orlando because we're gonna get ready to eventually, like, go out, and I'd drive by and be like, "I wonder if there'd be anybody in there at,
That
like,
would,
5 in the
I
afternoon."
mean, the clientele at 5 in the afternoon, I believe, might be even a little less than your C plus.
It might be a whole lot of me.
There might be a whole lot of you in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's accurate. That's
Yeah, yeah,
now
yeah.
in your mind. Does in the adult movie theater is it an individual booth, or are you sitting amongst others whilst watching a feature presentation?
It'd be like, the second option where it's like a small movie theater, they got, like, some movie seating,
How many seats do you think?
20 seats maybe.
20. Okay.
If you're lucky, 20 seats, and yeah, so maybe you just kinda, like you sit there, and if, you look around, like, while things are going on, if anybody if you catch eyes with anybody,
Right. Right.
maybe you guys switch seats or
Okay.
and it's all real kinda hush hush, If you happen upon somebody getting a handy in the in the adult movie theater.
Yeah.
You just zip your lips, mum's the word.
Yeah, what do you do if you've got someone, that you're noticing is maybe doing the old Pee Wee Herman and self-pleasuring?
Well, but that's them. It's what you shut your mouth and you keep
I
on moving.
agree. I agree with that because, you're in, a place for a specific reason. And I don't think that there is a real crime being committed there because you know what you're in there for.
Honestly, I thoroughly believe that if you're in a place where children should not be, like, it's under 18 is, like, honestly forbidden, like,
Right.
can't be in here,
Right.
and they wanna make places where you can go to do that,
Yeah.
whether with someone else, whether it's a fuck closet or a self-love closet, I don't think that's out of line. I honestly don't.
I'm kind of in agreement with you here because at the end of the day, it's your choice to be in the establishment, right? And
Yeah.
and it's like yeah, if you're above age, and it's like by walking, it's one of those signs. You ever see like a movie set, that's like,
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you walk past this sign, we reserve the right to use your likeness, and you will be on. It's possible you will be on camera, all that. There's one of those signs that basically says, if you walk past this sign into this room, you are basically agreeing to be spooged on.
No, I'm not saying all that. I'm
Well, it's
saying,
a
like,
possibility.
I'm
It's
saying more like the sign they have at Pier 13 at the Brevard or at the Titusville Beach, Playa Linda.
uh-huh.
It says, "Hey,
First,
yo,
I thought you were talking about Pier 1 imports. just
at this Pier 1 I went to one time."
Yeah.
Like the crazy the hand job Pier 1.
Yeah,
Never
dude.
been?
You never been? That's awesome. You can get a new
Dude, it's great in there.
new cushions for your couch, maybe a decorative basket, and a hand job.
And the hand job, it's crazy.
It's awesome.
You can buy decorative glory holes.
Yeah.
Functional and stylish. No,
Pier
there's
13,
a sign
Pier
that
13.
when you get to Pier 13, you walk like 50 feet. There's basically a sign that says, "Hey, beyond this point, you're gonna encounter nude sunbathers." Only the sign at your little porn shop says, like, "Hey, yo, beyond this point, you might
see
see
dudes
like
jacking off
see
or
some masturbation or some
gratuitous
fornication."
nudity and yeah, anal.
Oh,
You don't know.
yeah, it might just be that you might just have to deal with, like, yo, this is happening, and if you don't like it, then find a cooler I guess a less cool sex shop. Almost a cooler sex shop. Find a less cool sex shop, and that way you can not run across dudes giving hand jobs.
Now,
But again, like, that's just me. I think that's the way I want to live my life.
so we have established that there's adult movie theaters that exist that are for 20 or so people to gather. But then there are cases of individual spank booths, right?
I mean, there's still got to be.
There used to
I
I used
assume
to
there's a
think
Jack Shack
I remember
somewhere.
I feel like it's in movies from like the 70s where they're showing like older New York. I feel like there were like maybe it's like in Taxi Driver, some movie like that where there's like peep show, like spank, booth or what have you. Like that's got to be. I wonder if that is still a thing anywhere.
I mean, I'm trying to look up if there are.
I'm just thinking because now everybody's got a cell phone and access to that like at any time that they want. Have those
Oh,
all gone out of business?
okay. Um, so it's looking like there's a website called Bisexual Playground that has. I'm not sure how old, like how recently updated this is, but it's like a glory hole listing. And it's
Oh,
saying
okay.
like several adult bookstores with glory holes. Most have locking doors. some of the video booths are large enough for 3 or 4 people.
Oh, wow.
So I think they might still be a thing.
That's interesting. I mean, that is different than just like going into like a small closet sized room, putting in like a VHS, and doing your thing and moving about your day. Like, cause that probably there's no need for that anymore.
If Okay, Owen, real quick, if I watch a VHS porno in a jerk booth, do I have to rewind it?
No. That comes. I think that's part of the price.
And okay, well, second question, what is the price for a jerk booth?
With inflation? What are we talking? $10? $10? 20 minutes?
I would say because I'm never going to use 20 minutes. That'd be a lavish
Yeah.
Parisian jerk off session if I'm taking that long.
Sure.
I would say run it by the 10 minutes and give me 10 minutes for $10. But I
$1
would
a minute.
say
Minimum of 10.
Yeah, but you got to buy them in 10 10-minute blocks.
Okay, yeah.
I think if you want to rent a jerk off booth that maybe could fit 3 to 4 people in there.
Oh, I don't think you get the booth for the same price. I think it's per person at that point.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Oh, wow. So you want to do no
$10
matter what the room.
Yeah, $10 per person. So like 4 people, $40, 10 minutes.
Now, if I rent the big room, is there space enough for an option? It's an optional upcharge, an optional maybe like chicken wing buffet or maybe a mac platter or something.
That's out in the great room and like in the lobby. That does exist, but you do have to pay a special buffet price. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
saying if you let me have the
$7.99 on Tuesdays, something like that.
Give me a buffet and an hour pass to the jerk booth, and I can like come in and out and
quite an evening.
$40.
Okay, so
$40.
No, that's too little because like you've already got your 60. That's already $60 with just the jerk booth. I'm saying, okay, you maybe get for $60 you get one complimentary buffet.
Oh, so if I buy the full hour,
yeah, then you get the complimentary buffet.
Okay,
that's decent.
So $60.
Yeah, that's a decent deal. That's a nice like evening out. Instead of mini golf, you take the wife there.
Yeah, but now you're spending $120 for 2 buffets and an hour to get jerked off in a booth.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Can anybody see in?
Yeah, there's
an option?
There's a double-sided window thing.
So I could turn it to like if I wanted people to look, if I didn't want people
you
to
can hit you can hit a button and they can be on there. They can't see you, you can't see them. Or they can see you, you can't see them, but they have to pay to get into there so they can do their business while you're doing your business.
Yeah. And I still, even if they paid to get in, anyone could just not open their window.
I think there's rooms there's independent rooms. There's one for that. Like you sign that agreement before you go
for showing
in. Yeah, like you're in one of the 2 rooms. Like you're in the showing room or the non-showing room.
Okay, I can get behind that. I'm all right with that.
So this whole time, so go ahead. Sorry.
No, go. We tangented way too far away from where we were.
Yeah, I mean it's fine because realistically, like I'm watching this thing from my hotel room. The whole time I'm there, saw maybe 2 people go in, 2-3 people. One was like a clearly like a male gay couple because they had like sex like outfits and stuff. I think they were in there doing like going into like a fair villa or something, right? They were going to pick out some sexy boy clothes right?
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what they were doing. This is just what goes on in my head. And then I saw one older homeless looking man go in there, and that was it. Those were the only three people that I saw go into said establishment. And this place was big, bro. This was like the size of a Denny's.
Oh,
Like,
wow, that is
yeah,
kinda large.
yeah, it was like quite large. Like okay, not far off the size of like a Dollar Tree or like a CVS. Like we're in that size like of building.
So, that is that's pretty big, but I've been in, like, the Fair Villa that's in, like, Cocoa Beach,
Yeah.
and that thing's, like, 2 stories, and it's pretty fucking large to be quite honest.
Yeah, that place is
Um
big, but they have a good reputation and they have a wide variety of products that they sell. So, and they even get into kind of like some of the smoke shop paraphernalia and like the Spencer's Gifts type paraphernalia, right? Like things like that. So I can understand how they can make a living and stay in business. A place like this, though, that's getting like 3 customers. And I was watching almost any time I was in the hotel room, instead of watching TV, I was just kind of like watching by the window and like seeing what
Yeah.
was going on. And seeing that little amount of people, I'm like, how does that place stay in business? And so I was asking some of my friends, some of my coworkers, how do you think it stays in business? And we all kind of agreed it's got to be some sort of a front, right?
Well, I mean, okay, so look at it like this. The products you have, there's no expiration on most of them.
True.
So if you order
Once
I mean, you do have to kinda keep up with the new I guess, the
you
new
do,
times.
yeah, you can't
Um,
have like all just Debbie Does Dallas and 70s pornos in there, right?
right, so you have to kinda do something to kinda keep modern,
Uh huh.
but I would assume that, like, a lot of your stuff just is kinda just hanging out.
Yeah, once
You
you get
can
that inventory, that's kind of that, right? You don't have to really worry about it. I get that. But then there's just like there's obviously got to have at least like 1 or 2 employees, I would think, in a place that size. Say 2 employees at the minimum. Then
on
you
every shift?
Yeah, maybe there's one sometimes. Maybe there is.
Maybe
Uh
that overnight shift is just one
I
dude.
would think, yeah, you're probably right. That could be possible. But then you've got AC, like, or heat, right? Like that alone in a building that size, that's gonna be what, like $1,000 a month.
Right.
And then if you're like actually like maintaining the place and making sure it's clean, someone's got to do that. Someone's got to be like, cleaning down the adult movie theater every once in a while, right? So,
Do you think
uh,
do you
that's an
think there is a do you think there's a dedicated guy for, like, the jizz mop, or
That's probably the
does
employees. One of the 2 employees has to do that, right? Like, there's a manager
Bruh.
who has graduated up to like not having to do that, but he makes like the new hire. That's like one of the entry level positions. That's one of
Jizz mop?
is Jizz Mop. Um, I also think like, what type of person are there? People that specifically go and seek out that type of job. They're like, nah, I'm not doing DoorDash. I'm not doing um, food service. Like this is my lane right here.
Well, I mean, I've heard specifically from, people in the industry that sometimes those people just get in those jobs and then they just stay. They there's something they like about it, whether it's the freedom of,
Yeah.
kinda dressing how you want, the hours are probably you kinda just decide, like, "Hey, are you gonna be a day porn shop worker or a night porn shop worker?" If your porn shop even closes, because I know a lot of them are just, like, kinda 24 hours if
I
they're allowed to be.
I think this closed, but it was like super late and it was open super early. Like it might have closed for like 3, 4 hours, but that would be about it.
Man, then yeah, I wonder.
Are they doing the front? If it's a front, it's also tough to do a front with like inventory, right? Because would get an audit of like, well,
Mhm.
did you really, sell $20,000 worth of merchandise like this month, or because it seems like you only had, you know what I mean? Like that would be tough to do with like an inventory type situation in an audit.
Well, yeah,
But
because
if you have, that's what I'm thinking, where the adult movie theater comes in, and maybe that's how they do it. And that's why, even though no one is really using the adult movie theater anymore, that's how they can do it. They can say, if it's a front, right? Oh, we had X amount of people come in and buy tickets to the adult movie theater. That's a
right.
lot easier to hide than it would be to like, we sold X amount of nudie magazines or videotapes or whatever it is, right?
Right, and especially if you can run like a, because I mean, any business that you need to be a front basically needs to be a service-like business where you can kinda just
Fudge the
approximate.
numbers.
Yeah. You know, dry cleaning is great because,
Right.
I mean, as long as you have some legitimate clothing coming in and out,
Mm-hmm.
it never looks like you're not doing
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
enough. Now, yeah, I would think a porn shop would be hard if you're just using the porn shop because, like, invoices,
Yeah.
you obviously have to have, like, a fair amount of, if you show up in the porn shop and there's, like, 5 dildos on the wall, a single rack of magazines, and, like, some condoms somewhere, people are gonna be like, "Well,
How is that?
how are
How are
you
you
turning
making?
out, like, 30
Yeah.
grand a month?"
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So,
That's so.
yeah, I mean, you have to
I
keep a.
think that's what it is. I think that's the reason adult movie theaters in those places exist, is so that they can fudge the numbers and use it as money laundering.
Probably, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I also think that it is a way to kind of get people in and charge them a service for where if you know what they're doing in there, you charge them for the hour and a half movie and they maybe sit in there for 20, 30 minutes
Yeah. Yeah.
at the most.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
probably not taking up a ton of space. You could also then like, yeah, maybe it is showing just a skin flick like 90% of the day. But like the 7 o'clock showing could specifically be like an actual movie, I guess.
Okay. Well,
Like, well, I mean, it could still be erotica, but you could show like Pink Flamingos by John Waters or
or like
like,
Wild Things,
right,
something
very
like that.
sex
Yeah.
adjacent
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Or maybe you do like a monthly series where it's like, here's the top rated cinema movies that also have
I
titties
don't
in
think they're
them.
doing that. I don't think there's
If
any.
it's I'd have an art house
You'd have an art
porn
house,
house,
art
an
house,
art porn house,
art house, porn house. Yeah, I like that. Actually, I'm gonna write that down because that's a great
art house, porn
concept.
house.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that something like that probably does exist somewhere, but I feel like that's gonna be more in a place that does like, what is it like, with the sexy girls, and like, they wear all like the
Maid
fishnets.
cafes.
No, like the fishnets, and they dance and they do, it's like more of a performance, but their titties are out.
Oh, like burlesque.
Burlesque. Yeah. See, somewhere like that, like a burlesque theater or something, they could do an art house, porn house. But I don't think the place that's off just the side of the street on Highway 50 is doing that.
I mean, again, if it's
No,
my
if it's
porn house,
yours, then yeah.
we're
Okay.
doing some high culture pornography every now and then.
Okay. What's the most high cultured pornography you've seen?
Um, I think it was that pirate one, the big expensive pirate one.
I saw the Brown Bunny once, and that was like it's like an indie film,
Right.
and he gets a blow job from Chloe Savine or whatever. Yeah, I remember
Oh
seeing.
my.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and calling it, it's real because they were like dating at the time. Like that was a thing that happened. But yeah, I think that's probably the closest I got to that. I don't know. Art house porno. I don't like any of my porno to be too arty. whenever they try too hard, like any of those pirates ones or anything with like too, if it's got too good of acting in it, I don't like it. Like I need terrible acting. I need poor sets. I need
I need
I don't need
both.
costumes.
I need both people to look kind of either really, really high
Yeah.
or kind of out of it.
Yeah, I like that. That's always good. Yeah. I like pimples on like
Butt cheek.
the inside of the ass cracks. Yeah. And the inner thigh, perhaps. Maybe I like a girl with a good bruise on her thigh.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all seen that.
I do like a little more of an advanced hang on a breast, like when they're too upright and perky. It, I don't know.
It takes
Doesn't
me
look
out
natural.
of it. I like a just a random mole.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some sort of skin condition is usually good.
But something big enough that you probably should be concerned about it.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't seen a dermatologist
They
about
probably
it, you should.
Yeah, I agree. Well, anyway, that was just part of my theory in seeing this, porn stores at, internet. And I was very tempted just to be like, let me just go and, poke my head around. But I didn't want any of my coworkers to see me like going in or coming out of there. So it was definitely like, well,
your coworker who was in the next room and also been watching the porn store religiously.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
now, at least now that you've said things about it, is like, that's OB. What's he?
I picture myself. I picture myself in the old school, like, with the spy like trench coat with, and I've got my hat, I've got my like fedora on, and I'm like, I go in like that. Yeah.
And you walk past it one time, like you're not gonna go in it,
and
then you look around, you double back and you pause outside, and you're like you smoke like 2 to 3 cigarettes because you just want to make it look like it's normal. You're there, whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't even smoke the cigarettes like facing out to the street. You smoke them like facing the building.
Yeah.
So that nobody knows.
Yeah, and it's a character I like to call Lance Incognito. Is his name.
Nice.
Yeah, that's his name. Lance Incognito does that type of behavior. Yeah, he's a sneaky character.
I mean, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't been, in a position in a long time where I've been able to, do the alter egos. But yeah, we used to put on some alter egos to go do some other, to do those things. Go to your porn shops and stuff.
Sure. Shady character. Moving forward, I did make a couple. Well, I watched a couple movies on the airplane, and because I think I made this pretty clear. I don't watch a lot of movies. Like, I'm not a big movie guy, but I've watched like 3 in a week, which is a staggering number for me. Like week and a half.
That's a lot of content for you, Owen.
I know. And wrestling's been boring lately, so I've just kind of like not been watching as much of that, and like we're watching this instead. So on the plane, I'm like, whatever, I'll watch whatever thing that I haven't seen. So on the way out there, I caught the movie Civil War.
Oh,
yeah. I remember like looking at the trailer, and I was like, this seems like it could be pretty interesting, and it's kind of like, oh man, it's gonna be all about like the divide in America, and like it's.
You mean that movie about the thing that's about to happen?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, exactly. Right. So I thought it was okay. Let's see what's going on here. It's also by the director of 28 Days Later. I forget that dude's name.
Right.
But
I know.
But it almost had like a zombie movie quality to it, if that makes sense. Like the way it was shot and all that. So like, all right, I'll give this a go. So I'm watching it, and I remember a couple of things from the trailer. And one of them was that dude who was in Breaking Bad. He played a character named Todd. He's in a bunch of other shit. I forget the actor's name. Good actor. Yeah. And he's he's all dressed in his camo, and he's got an like a assault rifle, and he's got a pair of like aviators on, and like the goodies are like trying to get by him or whatever, and they're like, hey, don't shoot us, we're American, and he goes, what kind of American are you? Right? So you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, this guy's like sinister, like, oh, this is gonna be something.
The
So-
actor is Jesse Plemons, by the way.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons. He's good. I like him in
He
stuff.
was in Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
and some other stuff.
Yeah. And so I will do a couple of tiny spoilers here. He gets killed within 3 minutes of appearing on screen. Never see him again. Like he's in it for a total of 3, maybe 4 minutes, like the whole fucking movie, and they make a big deal out of him in the trailer, right? The other guy that they do the same exact thing to is Nick Offerman. Right? Is that his name? Ron Swanson, right?
That's Nick. He's like the president, right?
Yeah, so he plays the president, who you kind of get a feeling he might be a bit of a Trump-like type character in the trailer, right? Like you kind of get that vibe. Like he's, there's something going on with him. You can't really figure it out, but I'm like, oh, that'll be good, right? He's in the minute for maybe 5 to 6 minutes. He's like barely in this fucking thing at all. And it's like your two main like actors that are in this. The rest of them, the only other like known actor I can think of is Kirsten Dunst. She is like the main female lead, and she's in it the whole time. But like, I don't go see a movie based on Kirsten Dunst, right? Like she's just there, right? Like she's okay. You're a okay actress, whatever. And yeah, she's in it for the whole thing. These other two that you kind of like, they obviously played up in the trailer, barely in this fucking thing. And the movie is not about, I mean, it's got like a tiny subplot about like the whole Civil War in America. They never get into like the politics. They never get into all these like different factions of like the Texans or the Western Front and like invading the Capitol, and like there's supposed to be like a Florida Union and all this. They barely, they just like scratch the surface. They mention it by name. They're just like these other forces or whatever that are in there. The whole movie is just about like war photojournalists. And I was like, this is bullshit.
How many people got shot? Did anybody really get like
there's
murdered?
quite a few people that got shot.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not too bad. I want some action.
Yeah, no, it had some action, but it wasn't, I don't know. It felt to me like the band, like what's that term? Like false advertising in a sense. Like the movie didn't have anything to do with what you thought it would be.
Well, it did also feel like they really, it was during a period of time where, the past couple of years have just been like super heavy with political divide. And I think they were kind of running, they ran it through that filter where it's like, yeah, it's a political movie. And they weren't lying. It's about like the politics of like keeping journalism alive and allowing that to still remain free and true.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. I guess so. I mean, it just didn't.
I am saying what I do agree with you that like, yes, it is kind of false advertising because they sell it as like, ooh, it's going to be this movie about the divide. And for a standpoint, yes, because it's set in the middle of a civil war in the country.
Yeah.
But it's only really I think I remember hearing that they're like, it's really only about like getting these people to like release this story.
Yeah,
that's all that it's really
there's
about.
not really a huge story. All they're doing is just like, taking footage of people getting killed in war and all that, and like the horrors of war and all that type of stuff. Like that's really it. Like there's not much going on there. But the one good thing about it is like I watched it the whole way through, and then the end credits pop on. And I'm like, oh man, as they put on a song for like the end credits, I'm like, oh, this is like this kind of a banger, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play some of it for you here. It's by a band called Suicide, which I was like, whoa, that's pretty
I thought you were
uplifting.
gonna be like, it's a band called Imagine Dragons. I'm like,
Right,
ooh.
yes. Hanson has the
Wow!
yeah,
I'd be stoked if Hanson came back.
right. The song's called Dream Baby Dream, and it's really good. And I thought it was like a modern song because when I'm hearing it, I'm like, at first, I'm like, is that the Talking Heads? And I like the Talking Heads a lot, right? Like I think the Talking Heads, David Byrne, they've got some great stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is a Talking Heads song I've never heard. Turns out it wasn't. I had to look it up. I'll play a little bit of it here, but it's not. They're apparently from 1974. But tell me this doesn't sound like the Talking Heads. That voice, man.
Yeah, this could easily. Mm.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of fascinating. And I looked them up. They're one of these New York bands that never really had any success and had like some minor success in Europe and like the UK and all that, Germany, whatever, and yeah, just never really made it over there. And I know a lot about that like post-punk like era of music. Never heard
Yeah.
of that one. So that to me, the end credit song is the best part of the whole fucking movie.
I mean, it does sound like it was kind of like, hey, we're gonna trick everyone into seeing this movie,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's not really gonna be what you want. We know what you want,
Exactly.
which is you want to see one side just slamming the other side.
Well, I just want to see the two sides be going at it and like, oh man, just someone needs to just make that movie that people wanted to actually see.
I think you would have to do like, oh, here comes the. It would just be a bunch of action shots of like various stereotypes of people killing people in various stereotypical ways.
Yeah. I guess they already made that movie in real life. It was called January 6th.
Basically, yeah. We've already seen it. We don't. Do you need an overblown, over budgeted version of it? Then yeah, make that movie.
Yeah, that's true. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. But anyway, that was one of the movies I saw. The second movie I saw, I had to turn off because it was such trite bullshit, and that was the movie Twisters, the sequel to the movie Twister.
Wait, did they really give it an aliens treatment, or they just put an S on the end of it?
Yeah, it's called Twisters. Bullshit. It's like pretty much the same type of story. They're storm chasers, and like there's all these nods back to like the first one. And I realized something, and this just is a personal thing.
Right.
But I worked, of course, at Universal Studios Orlando for so long. I was surrounded by like their, not only like their movies, but their messaging, their storytelling, like the way that they kind of approach things. I can't watch those movies anymore. I literally can't. By Universal Pictures, I obviously can watch some like older ones, like, classics or whatnot.
Right.
But like the newer ones, it's all just full of really kind of like, let's be real, when they say like that woke agenda bullshit, it is all like everything has to have some element of that. And that's not even me being like too over the top with it. It's sort of true. And every movie has just like this feel to it that I like, maybe I'll grow out of it after I'm not there for a while. Like because I'm not working for that company much anymore. Like, but yeah, dude, I think I was just so like beaten over the head with those movies and that like that whole, again, that messaging that they have.
Right.
I'm fucking over it. And like this one, I mean, they were trying to do that kind of like sort of campy, like a step above, like not quite as like crazy or campy as like a Sharknado, but like only just removed from that, if that makes sense. Like
You only pulled it back 10% from
yeah,
Sharknado.
yeah, like self-aware, meta, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking see this. Like to me, I'm sure some people will enjoy it, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
It definitely does sound weird. Okay, here's how I'll say it. It always sounds weird anytime anyone says like, "Oh man, the woke agenda,"
Yeah.
and like I understand how what you're saying, like in the context you're using it. So please don't mistake that I'm talking
Yeah.
about you. But it always does sound weird hearing guys say that because I'm just like, you just don't want to see this kind of shit. Like you can just say that. Say like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not gay. I'm not trans. That shit doesn't interest me." You can't say that though.
No.
As the moment you say like, "Hey, man, I don't know. The movie didn't really do it for me," or I don't know, they were a little if you say anything along the lines of, "Hey, it might have been a little heavy-handed with certain things."
Pushing certain values or pushing certain trains of thought, like yeah, I mean that's probably the more apt response to it. But like again, not every movie needs to be made with it. Like it's just beating over the head, and I know that's like some right wing like pundits like talk, right? Like I don't mean to be like that. It's just come on, man, like.
Well, okay, I can look at it
Let's
from
have to
things
have
that
every type of representation of every race, color, creed, gender, sex, sexual orientation, and let's put them all in Nebraska as if that's fucking believable. It's
right.
not. Like, that's the other
Yeah.
part, too. Like, no.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll give it to you from something I see because it happened. You've definitely seen a shift in video games, something I've been playing for 30 the better part of 30 years.
Yeah.
The shift from very what would be a very typical male role, the protagonist, the adventurer, they have taken a hard shift to there are a lot more female protagonists now in the
Yeah,
games.
and that's fine. That's cool.
But you do see a big pushback where it's like, well, I understand that we're giving
Yeah.
women, the light to shine.
Well,
And I
let's
don't
not
wanna
beat
take it
around the
away.
bush with this either. There's also a lot more female gamers now than there were 20 years ago. So
Correct.
there's a reason like to kind of capitalize on some of that market. Just in the same way with my wrestling, there's a lot more female wrestling fans and it's a huge untapped demographic, so there's a lot more female wrestling on TV.
Right. Now, the weird thing is there's been such a pushback though, because as long as you can tell the story well, I don't really care who the main character is.
100% the same.
Yeah.
100% the same.
There have been some games where I'm like, well, why didn't you leave this? It doesn't really seem like it's insistent that it be a woman. So a lot of the gamers complain and say, why didn't you just make it flippable?
If there's not a reason for it,
yeah,
I don't see the point. I do also like the idea of a boy gamer being able to choose a boy character, or if he wants, or a female character, or choose whichever way you want, right? It's like in Mario Kart, I can be Princess Peach, right? Like, or I could be Luigi. But if I'm just going to now make, for no reason, if there's a reason for it, do it. But if for no reason, all of a sudden Luigi's gay. Why?
Right.
Right. Like, and that's where I'm like, you just did that for the sake of it. And I think that that's where I have the problem, is for the sake of it. Not that they're doing it at all. It's just like, oh, look, there they are again doing this for the sake of it. And I see it. I think I see it more in Universal movies than I do in many other like production houses. I do actually feel it because they are very big on that messaging, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's have a reason for it, have a story to go with it. And I mean, these are all touchy subjects in this day and age. I get it. But again, just have a reason.
I also think, especially to further your point, I think Universal can be a little more open and forward with that thing, with that kind of message, because they are more of an all ages park. You almost you notice that, like, when Disney
Right.
does things that are,
There's pushback because they're trying to make our kids gay and all
oh,
that stuff.
I
Right?
I just meant to say, like, when Disney does like adult only things, they price them ridiculously and they still entirely sell out because it's not an adult park. You know, when they do, they it's almost everything centered around being there for the kids.
Sure.
So when you start dabbling in, the LGBTQ community and really kind of pushing that message, as much as there are guys like you and I who don't care,
Yeah.
there's a whole sect of, like, again, maybe the Midwest, where they're like, we love Disney for the kids, but now we don't agree with.
Right. And now we're not going to support Disney and all that because you made, what was it? Was it one of them, Buzz Lightyear kisses a dude or something?
I think the big turning point where people were really like, what the hell is, yeah, there was a homosexual kiss in, I think it was Lightyear, the new Buzz Lightyear movie.
Yeah, I think you're right.
There was a homosexual kiss, and that kind of really just fired off this thing where people then just kind of went through Disney with like a fine tooth comb, like, well, man, look at this. Like, this person kind of dresses or skews LGBTQ, and they just believe that everything that Disney puts out now is
Sure.
veiled, like, promotion of an alternative homosexual lifestyle.
Which, if you haven't been to Disney, I'm going to give you like a shocker here. It's really gay. And it has always been really gay. And it has always been super friendly to the gay community.
Mm-hmm.
They still do gay days, I think. I don't know if that's still a thing, but they used to have a different, I think they might have even just changed the name for it or what have you. But it used to be a huge deal. And it was like, don't go to, I remember being a kid and like, don't go on this day and wear it was a red shirt.
Red shirt.
Remember that? Like, don't go and wear a red shirt. That means you're gay. Like,
So I remember I was probably like 9 at the time, and we went to Disney. Like, we did damn near every weekend with my grandparents. We were going to Disney or Universal or SeaWorld.
yeah, you were a Disney kid when you were growing up.
I lived a very privileged,
Still kind
like,
of are.
young.
You still kind of are a Disney kid. You had
Yeah,
annual
if I had
passes until not long ago, right? You had
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And if I had the money and it was still like a really, really great value, like it was when I was younger,
Sure.
I might still have an AP. But
well, they've outpriced us at this point. Like they've deliberately done that with residents. They don't want us there anymore. They want the tourists.
We're not worth the money.
No.
But I remember at 9, also at 9, big Chicago Bulls fan. So I'm out there at Disney at 9 years old
in your Dennis Rodman jersey.
It's like my Michael Jordan dunking a big red Bulls T-shirt.
Sure.
Just because I loved the Chicago Bulls at the time. Michael Jordan, we shared a name, so I thought we were extra friendly and cool.
And you looked a lot alike.
Yeah. So I remember
A lot
I'm
of people
like,
don't know this, but when Mike was real young, when he first started getting his mustache, his beautiful mustache in, he actually started out with the Michael Jackson Hitler or the Michael Jordan
the
Hitler.
Jordan Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it
I
actually developed. It just filled
mhm.
in from there.
I wish I could still rock a Hitler. We should take it back as the chaplain.
I
Charlie
mean,
Chaplin.
we can't. Yeah, no.
Big long road,
Nah,
real tough road to
no,
run up
nah,
that.
not happening. Not happening.
But yeah, I remember we went there and I'm like, man, everybody else here, like
We're all
there's a lot
Bulls
of red
fans.
going on
There's a
today.
ton of Bulls fans here
Yeah, I'm
today.
like, everybody loves Chicago, man. Everybody's so cool. No, I was like, there's a lot of red shirts here.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got back to
It's weird. I just never imagined all these types of dudes would be like such big basketball fans. They just don't strike me as big basketball fans.
lots of really short shorts and Bulls fans.
Yeah, lots of them.
They're all really friendly.
And
friendly.
And a lot of them are really good looking and have immaculate hygiene and like haircuts and stuff.
Really well put together.
Yeah,
Bulls
so
fans
well.
here.
Yeah, a lot of well put together Bulls fans.
Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely a little weird during it. And then yeah, I got back to elementary school and people were like, it was gay days at Disney. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. My other big point too, and I've said this I think on the podcast before about any of these corporations, is that they play both sides. And like Universal's parent company, even though they have this strong LGBTQ message, and of course Disney as well, man, do they have like some higher ups that are like in the Comcast who owns Universal. Comcast made like, I don't know if it was billions, but certainly millions of donations to the Trump campaign, Republican parties. Like they always want it both sides. Like they no company, no corporation in this fucking country is really out for like true diversity, true any of this stuff. It's what's popular at the time. It's how they can make it look in the media and all that type of stuff. They're all playing both sides.
Yeah. I mean, it is, what I think is really interesting is that you do see like Walmart and Target, they both do it. And it's probably already started. And I know it's already started because I've been to both. The Christmas stuff already out.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not wasting any time. They also already have a Hanukkah section.
That's fine.
Real clear. What I am surprised about though, no Kwanzaa section in either spot.
Well, Kwanzaa is sort of a made up holiday. Like, I'm not saying that there aren't people like, and it's a relatively new one. I remember looking this up years ago. Kwanzaa, I feel like that it was invented in the 70s. Like it's not like an age-old tradition like that goes back in like the history of, Judaism or Christianity or whatever. Like I think Kwanzaa is kind of like just this kind of made up thing.
Yep, it developed in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga.
Yeah. So like no one, I'm sure again, there's definitely religions, there's definitely people that celebrate it, but it's not like it comes from like a strong enough background, like religious background for like I mean, type in ask the computers what percentage of Americans celebrate Kwanzaa. It's got to be like 1% or below, right? It's got to be. Has to be. Under 5.
Ooh. What's your call?
I said 1% or below, but I'm changing it to definitely under 5%.
Yeah, you are correct. 92% of Americans will celebrate Christmas. 5% will celebrate Hanukkah, and 3% will celebrate Kwanzaa.
Yeah, so I'm surprised there's that little of people that celebrate Hanukkah. Only 5% celebrate Hanukkah?
I mean, I think with the mixing of communities, maybe you end up as a Christmas house.
Yeah. Nah,
Or I mean, I guess it also could just come down to you. I'm not talking about. I mean, the Jewish population is not that big.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Anyway, I'm sorry to get all Rogan-y on you this evening. It's just that Twisters movie fired me up with its, goddamn bullshit.
Okay, well, real quick, Owen, just to take it back 1 second. Only 2.4% of the population is actually Jewish. Of the American population is actually Jewish. So the fact that 3% will celebrate Hanukkah,
Right, they're
kind
married
of an
in.
overshot.
They're probably married into Jewish
Yeah.
families, all that type of stuff. So that kind of that tracks. But no, moving on. Again, didn't want to get all Rogan-y, but that's just what happened. I did get on the. I want to talk about my flight back. Now I had a layover both ways in Atlanta, which often happens when you fly Delta. Being the big hub. So both flights were like an hour to Atlanta, an hour to Louisville, then back the same way, hour to Atlanta, hour to Orlando, right? Which is kind of irritating because if you just went straight through, it would actually be less than a 2-hour flight because you're not taking off to, all that, right? So
Right.
it is what it is, but did that. And I was on the flight. Now, it always drives me crazy. I barely even like to watch a movie sometimes. Right? I watched the movie in the first half of that Civil War one. I watched on my way there, then watched the second half on my way back, right? And then watched a little bit of Twisters until I got pissed off. So it's hardly enough time when you're just up and down to even start a movie. It feels dumb. If I'm on a international flight or a flight to California, sure, watch a movie or two, watch the TV shows, cuddle up, have a bunch of snacks, have a bunch of, do your thing. But when it's seriously, it's never even an hour. It's 45, 50 minutes to Atlanta. You can't just kind of chill for 45 minutes. And they gotta get up 3 times to the bathroom. They gotta they're ordering food and what have you. I'm like, what are you doing? You're barely on the plane long enough for any of this to even you enjoy it, let alone I guess it's that ADD culture that everybody has. And there was first off, there was a kid I was wearing my Mr. Blobby shirt on my way back from Atlanta, and of course all the kids that are coming, making their connections with their parents, coming to Orlando for Disney. There was a kid that saw my shirt. He absolutely was terrified of the
Blobby is not. Oh, you can't be wearing that. Ow, Owen.
Well,
I've told you this.
I guess I didn't put it together that I would be on a flight with small children on the way to Orlando. I should know better, but so yeah. Mr. Bobby scared of real. I mean, he wasn't even 3. I mean, he was barely walking and could barely talk. And yeah, he saw his eyes, and he just started blinking and kind of shaking and hyperventilating. And I'm like, what's the problem? And he went crying, and his mom was just like, yeah, I think it might be your shirt. Oh, sorry, man. It's Mr. Bobby.
I'm not changing it.
Not changing it. Tough shit. Yeah, tell him to look away, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not
well, and real quick, this might be a bit of a gripe. I am sick and tired of having to kowtow to your children with what I'm doing out in public. This is public. If you're not ready for your children to see certain things out in public, leave them at your fucking house. Yep. Okay? I'm not changing my life now just because you decided to get fucked.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's if I'm standing in a smoking section and I'm getting the evil eye from a mom as she walks by with her kids. Yeah.
One of those.
I don't want my kids to see smoking. Well, tough shit. It's part of
Then
life.
Don't take them outside of the fucking house.
Outside. Exactly. Right?
Move to some place where smoking is entirely
or
illegal.
If I'm
Move to
just
California.
and I'm not about to be all around little kids and be fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, saying cunt every 2 seconds. But if something slips, don't give me the evil eye. Don't don't play that game. Because now I'm gonna, in spite, I'm gonna do it more. Let's be real.
Well, and I am, I, real quick, this might be a bit of a gripe. I am sick and tired of having to kowtow to your children with what I'm doing out in public. This is public. If you're not ready for your children to see certain things out in public, leave them at your fucking house. Okay?
Because now I'm gonna
Also, I really don't have any like desire to maybe stop. Listen, I'm not trying to be a monster, but like if we're both going for the same thing, and as a Ninja Turtle collector, this has 100% happened.
Mm.
See something on the shelf, pick it up.
I'm buying this.
Maybe that kid was talking to his mom or trying to convince his mom to buy it. Well, I'm a grown adult who has my own money.
Yep.
I just went and bought it.
Yeah, I should not be expected to hand that over to
Never.
your kid. No.
Because one, buddy, I'm not even taking this thing out of the box.
You're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin it and forget about it in 3 days.
Yeah, I'm going to
have this for 25 plus years.
Or I'm going to flip it on eBay and make money of it. But that is less than the point. My point is, I'm not handing nothing over to your children. If I take the last Slurpee, guess what? You fucking missed out.
Yeah.
Right over.
No, I'm fully with you on that one. So yeah, Mr. Blobby Shirt got the kid on the plane, and then there was a real fatso sitting across the aisle from me. And when I say that she had, I mean, we're talking, okay, let's just walk through this. She brought on her own Coca-Colas, right? She had 2 of them.
That's a big back move right there.
She had 2 of her own Coca-Colas. She had a full can of Pringles, not one of the mini ones, full can. She had gotten one of those boar's head pre-made sandwiches at the airport, was eating that, and also had gummy treats as well. Is that necessary for a 45 to 55 minute flight? She finished all of it. She left the Pringles as if to me to note that she finished the can, and she was in there the whole time.
I'm saying maybe one of those snacks
is plenty.
Is plenty.
Yep.
Probably that tube of Pringles. And again, like I'm a snacky guy. Like I like to have snacks, so I might have 2 of those items.
You might have a sweet one and maybe a salty one. I get that a little bit, but you wouldn't have that plus the sandwich and 2 Cokes, and they were full Cokes.
I mean, there's Cokes on the flight, right?
You do have to pay more for them, but she would have had to have brought these through bottom in the airport because they won't let you bring all the liquids through and everything, right? So she would have had to have purchased those, and that's the same amount as really what the airplane's it's the price on the airplane.
Yeah.
And then they did come by with beverage service, which was just tea, coffee, or water. She denied all of those 3, but did take the Biscoff cookies and ate those as well.
Ew, I'm not even a big fan of Biscoff.
They're all right. I'm over them.
I'm over cookie butter.
Yeah.
I don't care for it.
That's all right.
But yeah, I do think that's like a snack.
That's excessive.
You're overdoing it, man. That's a 45-minute flight. If you can't make it through, let's rethink some things.
Agreed. The other thing I did, and we'll wrap this up here. Last thing I'll mention to you is I'm usually pretty good about remembering to turn my phone onto the airplane mode as you're supposed to do, right? And I get it. I think even Mythbusters did this back in the day. There's been studies you can pretty much just it's not going to cause the airplane to crash if everyone on the phone had their phone just not turned off on an airplane. It's not going to do anything to the instrumentation. It's maybe back 30 years ago it might have done something, but I still don't think it was even that big of a deal then, right?
Right.
The main reason you want to turn it on airplane mode is that your phone, it's going to kill your battery because it's just constantly searching, trying to find a network. And that's why you just do it as, and I think they tell you to do it is like, I don't know, maybe just in case you get signal, they don't want you like texting is like on take or on phone calls on takeoff or things like that, right? They want to keep it quiet. They want to keep everybody chill. I mean, never mind that they never say anything to the person that's just like watching like a movie they've downloaded on their phone with no headphones. That doesn't seem to like, that drives me up the goddamn wall.
I don't think you should be allowed to listen to anything
No.
unheadphoned.
No, not in a public space. Not if you're walking around a park, you should probably have headphones in, like not like blasting something. Let alone when you're stuck on a tube with someone in the sky and you can't go anywhere, or you're on a train or a bus or public transportation. Hell, fucking no, should you be allowed to do that? I hate it when you're in the 7-Eleven and there's somebody having a phone call on speaker. Like, I mean, the new trick to that I've learned is basically you just start like interrupting into their conversation. You start interjecting with things like, as if you're part of it.
I feel like if someone
They
was
love
watching,
that when you do that.
if somebody was watching a movie right next to me, and especially if it's something I had seen, I feel like it would just start spoiling. I'd be like, "Oh, he's gonna,
Yeah.
This is where Tom Cruise jumps his motorcycle in like 2 minutes. He's gonna do that. It's so sick. Like you're gonna really, it's gonna be cool when you see it. I promise."
And okay, so I was a little bit more lenient to like there was a little kid watching a kid show, and the mom actually like they were doing it on like the backseat headrest like TV monitor. It wasn't on like a phone or whatever. They weren't like iPad parents. They seemed like actually decent parents and a well-behaved child. But they were kind of like explaining what was happening because the kid couldn't read the closed captions, too little. And I blame Delta on this one. They make just the one size of free headphones that they give away. So they don't fit in his little fucking ears. In that case, if they would have busted out on very low volume, something for him to watch, I wouldn't have been that mad about it because that should be priority beyond even the adults having headphones, just to keep the kids shut up and occupied, right? Why aren't like make little kid headphones? I also think that should be like a $1 billion idea that you could sell to. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but like little tiny headphones, like little in-ears.
Owen, I'm gonna disagree with you on this one, purely on the fact that children's programming sucks ass,
Yeah,
and
it
I
does.
don't want to listen to it no matter what.
You're right. And they didn't do that. But at the same time, I would have been a little bit like, because like I could see them trying, like putting it in his, like, and he was just like, it would just fall out of his ear. Like, yeah, they were trying. At one point, the dad was like kind of like holding his hands over like the kid's ears. And like he gave up, like, 20 minutes.
I'm not
after,
doing
I'm
this.
not doing this the whole. He's like, hey, buddy, just look out the window. Which is what I used to have to do on 8-hour flights from the UK when I was a little kid. They didn't have that shit. Anyway, I forget to put my phone on airplane mode, and I realize, man, you get cell service for way further up than I really imagined. You can see like because you've got like the little flight monitor thing, 8,000 feet. I was able to get cell service. I was able to send out text messages. I probably wouldn't have been able to get a phone call, but at 8,000 feet. Now, once it got above 8,000 cruising altitude, it disappeared. But I was really kind of surprised that it like as fast as you're going, hopping to cell phone tower that far away, 8,000 feet, that I was able to get cell phone service. Thought that was kind of fascinating, actually.
Damn. All right. So, Owen, you said that you didn't really have these like back of the flight, like back of the headrest movies when you were little. You just had to kind of stare out the plane.
Yeah.
That's tough. Because Pan America World Airways started showing movies on small TV sets that around the cabin in 65.
Oh, that's crazy. Now, when I was flying, you wouldn't have your choice of anything. They would show on the long flights, there would be 3 movies, and all of them would be like, you would get one family-friendly one like PG-13 or something, and then like they would show an R-rated something or other when like most of the kids are like falling asleep, especially if it's like red eye or whatever, right? Like longer into the flight. So they would usually do that, but they were on one big screen at like the front of the cabin, like movie theater style. So you didn't have it in the back of your headrest, and then you'd have your little headphones that you could plug into the side that had the ability to get that audio. But then they did have a function on there that had like different radio stations you could switch through.
Shit.
You know, it was like their in-flight radio stations. So you'd have the rock one, a pop one, a country, whatever, right? So I remember doing that as a kid and listening to different types of music. And then when I got older, having like a cassette player or even like a portable CD player. And then eventually, like, we had a Game Gear and a Game Boy, and that was part of it. But like, it was so heavy to carry all that. I remember all like the extra batteries and all like the cartridges. And
Almost
like,
never worth it. Well, I mean,
yeah.
100% worth it, but it was
Well,
just
if you're
like,
my mom
why?
and dad to shut us up on an 8-hour flight, yeah, they're doing that for sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, all my whole carry-on was just stuff to basically keep me occupied for that length of time. You'd have coloring books. They used to give out coloring books on flights to shut your kid up. They don't do that anymore. I guarantee you they don't do that anymore.
No.
Do kids even color? Do kids color? I guess they probably do. But
You get real young. I think the age at which you stop coloring now is a lot younger.
yeah, I'd agree with that. Anyway, that was my flight experience. That was most of my my trip. I think we will take a short break though. Come back, do some clips. I know you have a bunch of stuff that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I've got a few extra things I want to talk about, especially my my home improvements. I want to mention some of those. I also want to mention the third movie that I got to see this week, or decided to watch at home this past week, and I'll just tell you that it is one of Sinbad's classics. And
Sinbad classic.
and I'll tell you how well it stood up when we come back. Guys,
well.
yeah, you kind of predicted that one correctly. Guys, thank you for chilling with us for our first segment of Oh No Radio Show for the week. It's always fun after I've done a little bit of a trip to come back and dust off the cobwebs. We'll be back with some Oh No 2.0 very, very soon. If you're on the Twitch, it'll be in just about 10 or so minutes. Patreon.com/ONRS if you want to donate some of your hard-earned cash. ONRadioshow.com or wherever you find your podcast. Just search for Oh No Radio Show and you can download the show. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. Search for Oh No Media over there. And if you do want to give us a call or leave us a voicemail, that's over at 407-906-6466. I'm going to go outside. No Show. This is Oh No 2.0, your second dose of Oh No for the week. It's just me, Owen, Captain your ship, along with my good buddy Mike B, and we're holding the fort down this week. Mike, your mic's muted.
No way. I would never do that.
Yeah, it certainly.
I would never mute myself.
It's all good though. We're here, and Mike, earlier in the week, we were talking about my proclivity. Is that the word? Proclivity for needing my vacations, my time off from work.
Yeah.
Yet it seems like you had a little bit of a little vacation yourself this week.
Oh yeah, I did. You know me, mega workaholic, detrimentally workaholic, almost. I've definitely worked myself much past my own what's good for me.
Sure.
But you know, it's really really an issue like this where it puts me out of work, where I look at it, and at the end of this, I think I might have changed my ways, Owen. At the end of it, I think I might have grown a little bit. So I guess it was probably last week, Friday going into Saturday of last week. We had everything's normal, closed the restaurant down like normal, went home, was coming back Saturday morning, and my boss calls me and he's like, "Hey, the power's out." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, like that happens sometimes, like the power goes out. Like, how long has it been out?" He's like, 9 hours. And I'm like, "Oh, that sucks, because that means pretty much we're probably gonna have to throw food away."
You're gonna have to throw all of the food away after that amount of time. You can't be serving that up to the peoples. Yeah. Vegan food, you can't get away with that.
So, I get up there and he's like, "Yeah, it's been out this long." And I'm like, "Do we know what it is?" And we were still waiting on the verdict from the city, but we had lost power somewhere in the middle of the night.
Right.
And the city says, "Hey, it's not us, it's you guys," which sucks, because it had been the city's issue. The city fixes it.
Yeah.
And whatever. But it's our issue, because I don't know what happened, but they literally fried the wire coming into the building, like our main power box.
Yeah, so that's not your issue. You didn't do that.
I don't know how it happened. We have some ideas, but I don't want to put anything damning out there because we don't have any evidence.
I'm thinking that maybe Mike B needed a little break and went by after hours and dug up some power lines and caused it himself.
cut some powers.
Yeah.
Our thought is they've been doing construction in the end unit, and they just had a bunch of extra equipment plugged in, and it just drew a bunch of power that wire couldn't handle, and it fried the wire.
Possible.
So anyways, it happens literally in the worst possible time, because Saturday the city won't do anything. So even if we get a contractor out there that day to fix it, the city's not coming to help us.
Well, and you already got to throw out the food. So it's not like you can get all the food back in time to serve the people on Saturday anyway, right?
Well, yeah, that's the other issue. Because it happened on Saturday is the last day of the week we can actually get a truck in.
Yeah.
So even if we could have gotten the power fixed, we could not have gotten a truck in for that Saturday or that Sunday, or even that Monday, because we'd order a truck, it would show up on Monday whenever they could get it to us. So even if they get it to us Monday, we've still got to prep all the food, and I need probably about 3 hours to prep my entire kitchen.
Wow.
To be ready.
And that's probably cutting it short.
That would be just like the bare minimum to get us open with like a portion of our actual menu.
And then you'd be playing catch up the entire day.
Yeah, basically. So I knew like I'm doing all this kitchen like restaurant math in my head. Like
Yeah.
everything's starting to click in place, and I'm like,
Wait a minute.
oh shit! Like I can't work today. I can't work Sunday. Maybe we can work Monday, but they'd have to get the power on,
Get the truck.
and we'd have to order a truck Sunday in hopes
If the power is gonna be back on, you don't want to do that. The truck
And we're not doing
shows
that.
up, and you're
my
out.
brain's like putting all these. It's like you're not ordering a truck Sunday because you don't know if the power's back Monday.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and you even if you order the truck on Monday, it won't get here till Tuesday, and then you'll need most of Tuesday to even fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing math in my head. I'm like, I've got till probably Wednesday to be off.
Yeah.
Saturday to Wednesday off. That's
unusual
Okay.
for Mike B. Yeah.
That's very unusual.
Where that's like an average weekend for me. Yeah.
That's most of your life.
That won't be soon. God damn it.
Yo, yeah. I can't wait till you work your
Oh.
first 60-hour fucking week.
It's
I
gonna
am going to I'm gonna laugh. I'm just gonna laugh. I'll feel bad for you because I know you can't handle it.
I know I can. I know I can.
Just subcontract me out those
Okay. I'm gonna
for those things, and I'll just come work with you. You'll have to pay me a little bit.
Sure.
And-
I'll figure something out.
Yeah. And then I'll just show up and I'll do all the work, and you can kind of just like
Be
supervise.
there. Yeah, I'll just be there. I'll take a nap. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to tell me what to do.
yeah,
basically.
sure. I'll put you a list.
Okay. And I'll be bitching. I'll be like, this he's sleeping. He's probably drunk right now. But so anyways, yeah, like I do all the math in my head and I'm like,
That's
man, we're going to be closed till Wednesday. This will be a good break. And it was, dude.
That's awesome, man.
I hung out. The sad thing was I really only got Saturday to spend with Janine because she worked the rest of the week. So it was a lot of
You should
like
have gone and cut her power to her work.
They're a 7-Eleven, bro. They would have had that shit.
Oh, yeah.
They would have told them to still come in, been like, hey, you got to come in, throw everything out, and we're going to have power back in 8 hours. So, just stay around. We're going to have to order an emergency truck and replace everything.
Yeah.
Now, I will say the bad thing about throwing things out is we literally had to throw away so much product that I was like, it was like hamburger buns that had been out of temp, but they're supposed to be kept frozen.
They would have probably been fine, really.
But
you just can't risk it.
the little oath that you take, like when you start making people food, you go like,
if it was your fridge, you would have eaten those hamburger buns. Like if it was a hurricane, yeah. But and it also must like I do actually I hate when that happens. Like or you just like don't eat something, you have to like I don't like food waste. Like it is kind of just sort of just like disgusting. I mean, like I think about all the starving, Asian children or whatever, and or whatever they are, all the starving children. And then I'm like, well, I don't like children. Maybe they should starve. But then so then I like turn back around. But no, like I do actually. I hate seeing a bunch of like food just like thrown out and wasted. It sucks.
Yeah, so it definitely did suck. But I got some well needed time off. It led me to think about some of my crafting projects and something I've been thinking about wanting to do for like the past week now. And that's what I'm kind of doing with crafting projects. Like they kind of pop up all the time. They're like, hey, oh man, you should do this. You should do this. Now I'm kind of reserving it to like, if you have the same recurring thought for like about a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then maybe start working on that.
Yeah, it's like people that go to start a podcast, they get an idea and then they like, they start it too soon. They buy all the equipment, then they start, and then they realize that it sucks. And then like 3 weeks later, they don't want to do it anymore.
Now you've got $500 worth of equipment.
And the rest, Yeah. It happens.
But yeah.
So you haven't started any of these projects yet?
No, I've got 2 projects that I'm currently working on.
So
But there's this
do
one
you want to
project.
fill us in? Do you want to fill us in, or are these top secret?
Oh no! It's like my Ninja Turtle samurai hat. I'm trying to finish that up,
Okay, all
and
right. Is
the
that the one? What movie is that? Ninja Turtles 3? They have those.
yeah, but I'm making mine out of like a baseball cap when like kind of just doing like a fun samurai hat.
Can't you just buy a samurai hat?
Not a Ninja Turtle themed one, no.
Oh, so it's a samurai hat that you're gonna wear.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a baseball cap with like the little samurai ruffles on the bottom. And,
Oh,
like,
I
stuff in the
remember
front.
those now.
A kabuto.
I wasn't thinking about that hat. I was thinking about the pointy Chinaman hat that they wear.
Like the rice patty hat.
Yeah. I was like,
No. I'm doing like
I remember
a
now.
samurai
Like,
helmet.
yep. Okay, got it. That's
Should have said helmet.
how are you gonna build that then? Like, I mean, you said the baseball cap to start is like your base, but like, what are you putting on there? Are you gonna have to get some Asian decor? You got to go.
No. I've got so that Ninja Turtle doll that I cannibalized. I took the shell off of it, and it's going on top. I've got the mask. I bought a mask and put it around the front. Like it's really gonna look like a well-themed Ninja Turtle samurai kabuto when I'm done.
And where are you gonna wear this? Where are you gonna wear this?
Everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Not gonna be a place I won't wear it.
To work, just.
Well, it'll also, because of like the armor that hangs down, it'll protect my neck, so it'll kind of be like a functional sun hat.
That'll be good. Maybe even nice and warm for the winter.
Yeah. And if it's really cool and people really like it, I might make more of them and then
You're not gonna
start
do
a
that.
little side business.
No, you're not. You're not gonna do that.
Well, dude, if I can figure out how to do it effectively,
okay.
It's not going to be all that much work. The harder thing will be like theming them out for all the different ones that people want.
Are you gonna have to like sew?
No, it's all like fabric glue and using like little ties to fasten everything.
Oh, I'm not buying this shit from you on Etsy. I'm not buying this rinky dink.
You weren't gonna buy one anyway.
I might have if it was properly made, like if it was like hand tailored.
What if I made a Macho Man Randy Savage themed samurai kabuto?
It's actually piqued my interest now.
I knew I could.
Okay, I'm back in. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that's
Dude,
one project.
Make Donald Trump MAGA samurai hats. You will make millions of dollars.
Oh, I'd be a mega billionaire.
Yeah, you would. Sell your soul, dude. Who cares? Who cares? Just sell them.
Bro,
just make the money. Just make the money.
I just want money. I just don't want to I just don't want to be broke anymore.
Yeah, I feel you. Just sell them. I'm with you.
Let's sell out.
Yeah, I've been trying to sell out for so long, dude. You'd have no idea.
And the other project is that little Ninja Turtle head handbag that I want to make.
Okay. Yeah.
This new project that I've had
is that for Janine or is that for you? You gonna have the handbag or?
I'm just gonna sell it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it off. This new project that I want to do, and I do need a little. It's information I could easily find out, but I want to see if you know these informations like off the top of your dome.
Sure.
I've got a lot of these Ninja Turtle figurines. And I take some fun pictures with them and take them outside, have them do fun stuff.
It's like I got all my wrestling figures.
Yeah. So what I would like to build, it's a little big and it's probably going to take a little bit of engineering. But I'd like to build a wrestling ring.
Oh.
With a small platform and a little walk down.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a technical term.
Well, there is the platform would be the stage and the walk down would be the aisle.
Okay. So, but I basically want to make it for the size and proportion
to scale
of
for your figures.
7-inch. Most of my figures are 7-inch scale. But because I want to start taking some interesting wrestling photos with all my little Ninja Turtle toys.
All right. I know where to start with this 100%. The AEW and the WWE figures are roughly right around the size of those Ninja Turtle figures.
Okay.
All right. I say you buy one of the cheap, they're about $25 AEW rings. You can find them at any Target, Walmart, whatever, right? And then you
Okay.
use that as your base to customize. Now you can
I
do
think I
whatever.
could start that way.
And that's what you do. Now the aisle and the platform, that might take a little more ingenuity, that might take something else, but easily enough done. And yeah, I think if all right, so the mat, all right, so you've got with a ring, you've obviously got the mat, which is the part that you would stand on. You've got
Mhm.
your posts and your ropes, but then you've got your ring curtain apron around the bottom of it.
Right.
I say that you would go, I think personally you would want to do a pizza themed either mat or the curtain, the apron around it.
Right.
I
I've
think
already got some fabric that I
okay.
want to use for the apron.
Mhm.
It's like a Ninja Turtle fabric. It should work perfectly.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, I will have to kind of I'll have to figure out a design for the mat, but I do was gonna think maybe something a little like
Okay.
this.
That's pretty good. It's got a turtle shell like type thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's got like a little turtle skin on it.
yeah, that would
Yeah,
look.
this is the idea that's kind of been bumping around in my head for the last week
I can
is
make a
to
custom ring, and you could sell those because currently they do have a line of Ninja Turtle crossover WWE figures. Now you can make that for those, and now you sell that as a custom ring on Etsy. There's a lot of money to be made
there's
there.
some wrestling monies to be made
Yeah,
there.
the wrestling people, they'll spend it, and your Ninja Turtle people.
And dude, I have to imagine the crossover between wrestling nerds and
Oh, it's huge.
yeah,
Oh, I
is
imagine.
pretty big.
Well, they wouldn't have done it, right? They wouldn't have started that line of toys had there not already been. I mean, it's the same demographics that grew up in the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior, era that we're
Right.
watching Saturday morning cartoons of Ninja Turtles. Like I'm not as big of a Ninja Turtles fan as you, but um I most certainly grew up with them and loved the Ninja Turtles when I was a kid.
Yeah. And I do think I will say there's been a lot of with the movie revival that Mutant Mayhem that just happened like last year
Oh, they're hot
or the year
again.
before.
They're like a big deal again. Yeah.
But yeah, and they've been doing massive amounts of crossover. Like when you search for just toys on either Amazon or eBay, the amount of like crossover material I've seen between
Yeah, yeah.
Power Rangers, wrestling, the Universal monsters, they're mixing it up everywhere.
That's kind of
A-
neat.
And it is kind of cool as like a guy who collects toys and who collects like pretty much anything Ninja Turtle themed. I will say the only thing I won't collect Funkos.
Yeah,
Funko
I don't like
Pops.
Funkos. I've been gifted a couple, but and they're like, okay, thanks. Like you thought of me, and like that's okay. That's a character I sort of like or whatever. But typically, like, yeah,
They don't do it for me. I don't know
no, I
why.
just don't
It
like
just
the
it never
design of
hit
them.
me.
I don't like the. I like the more realistic designs of like the figures.
Yeah.
Like
Um
they're too well. Like Funkos are just basically they're like anime to me. Like I don't like the style.
yeah, it's never really done it
It's
for
not
me.
it's never appealed. I also think with like a custom wrestling ring type thing that you're talking about, I think you can like it's a really cool way to display figures. Like a wrestling ring kind of like keeps them all in like one area and like
Mhm.
you can bend them and pose them and do all sorts like yeah, I think like just as a display piece, it's kind of neat.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, I'd love to eventually get like a 3D printer and then maybe start like printing some of this stuff. But I do think like while I do love the idea of 3D printing, I think gives us access to so much.
Yeah.
I do think it's made crafting in some aspects a little lazy.
I agree.
People are just like, I can just print what I want. Whereas like I intend to like, get some wooden dowel rods, do a little bit of painting, like
Yeah.
figure out how to make these things look good. I mean, it's not gonna look pro. I'm not a pro, but the first one is gonna be a
Little
little
janky.
backyard wrestling
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But hopefully, if I do it and it's not an amazingly
I
hard
almost, I
task,
do almost think that one of the easiest things that you can do to try and like take some of the like engineering out of it is to just buy one of the wrestling rings and customize it from there, because that way it gives you
yeah,
your like your template, and then you can kind of like, sort of make your own or whatever. But
yeah, I'm probably gonna buy that ring first, customize that first one, and then start eyeballing it and seeing what it's gonna take for me to make it.
okay, all right.
Plus, if they're doing it at that scale, it also gives me a perfect template to be like, okay, the ring needs to be this high to make it look good on the
Yeah.
figures.
Well, next time you're around my place, bring a turtle and see how he compares to the ring and see how he
Okay.
compares to the figures, because I got a
Hell yeah.
ring hanging on my wall. We can take a look at it, or take some dimensions for you.
Yeah.
We can work with you. We can work with you. I mean, it's funny. You're talking about doing some crafting of some, kitty bullshit. But I did some real handyman work today. I'll tell you that. I've been getting complaints from the old wife over there that the fan in the studio hasn't worked for like 2 years. And you probably
Is
have.
that why it's always so fucking hot?
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the last time it worked, to be honest with you. It used to work. You have been in the studio where we had
I
a fan that
have.
worked. But it hasn't worked in a long time, and it's been pretty ungodly hot. Yeah. But now, one of the major things I did today was I hung a ceiling fan. I bought a new ceiling fan, and had to take the old one down, of course, to mount the new one to put up. I'm looking at it right now because I, I I worry about, when I think about it, every 30 minutes or so, I have to go check on it just to make sure it's still up there and hanging. But I think I did a pretty good job on that one. I had to get. It was actually kind of irritating because I got the old one down, I got the mount up, I got everything right, the ceiling fans put together, and I'm trying to like not move anything in the studio because it's a
Hmm.
bitch to move everything. That's why we had some technical difficulties really at the beginning of the show, because I was like kicking things around and whatnot,
Yeah.
as one does. And so I've got a step ladder, and I'm moving it, and like, okay, and it's they don't make these things particularly easy to get onto like the mount, right? And this particular type I had, it had like, like when you've got like the two screws, and you slide it on, and then you got to like turn it so it like sits like
Uh-huh.
so. All right. So there's like an opening, and then you turn it so it like sort of locks in, and then you can tighten it from there, right? And every time I would do it, it would fall off the one side, and then I like couldn't like, so I'm like standing on my desk right here. I'm staying like down, hopping onto the other side. I'm going up to try and get it, and it would like fall off. I got it up there on my own like twice, and then I'd go to flick the breaker, flick everything on, nothing. Fuck.
Oh.
So I have to take the whole thing down twice, and like one of the wire nuts for my negative or my positive, can't remember which one, but like kept slipping out because of the way like the tension
It would
on
get
the
bunched.
Yep. And so like I had to do that twice, and then oh man, I must have fucked with it for like a good like 2 hours on my own, and then I'm just like, neighbor Brian, you remember old Brian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he comes around, and yeah, and it just needed an extra set of hands just to basically like get it up there right, and just be able to twist it, and then like put the two extra screws in, and it was done, and it's fine. So it's up there, it's good. I've got a really nice bit of airflow going right now.
Oh nice.
Yeah, I've it's got a remote control that I have six different speeds. I have cranked it up to number 4, but it seems really fast on number 4. So it's on 3 now. I have yet to. I'm going to leave it for a couple more days, then try out speeds 5 and 6.
Oh, you're gonna break it in, let it kind of break
yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like just kind of take a, eye it up.
It's not a sports car, Owen. It's a ceiling fan.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of just making sure because I didn't want to be sitting here because I put it up today. I did have like visions of us doing the show. We're live on Twitch. Make a great viral video, and it just comes. Whole studio is just getting whacked about. Thankfully that hasn't happened. And I hope it doesn't. I mean, I hope it happens in the middle of the night when no one's in the room and not when Teresa's getting ready in here in the morning. That would also probably be, probably get frowned upon for that.
But you'd never hear the end of that.
Well, I think we're good. It's been up since like 3:00 this afternoon, and here we are at 10:49. It's been running ever since. So, I mean, I think it would have fallen by now, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I will say, like, they probably engineered it so that, like, just the simple turning of the fan doesn't, like, unseat it from the mount.
True.
But, you could have wired it wrong, so it's running in reverse, and it will gently rock itself out of the mount slowly until 3 months from now, you'll just get murdered. Murdered in the studio.
I think I bought a pretty light one, so I mean, it still wouldn't feel good if it fell, but I don't think I'd die. Like I'd probably get some like a couple black eyes, but and maybe a slight concussion.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be very good, Owen. Probably not. Probably kind of ruin your day.
Kind of. Yeah.
But you know what ruined my day today, Owen?
Oh, let me just tell you about the other stuff that I did.
Oh, jeez. Oh, sorry, I forgot. We got so deep into your fan.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was just one part of my handyman work that I did today, because my wife has been wanting, Teresa's been wanting this, what do you call? She's been calling it a gallery wall of art in the living room. So like think like a collage of picture frames and like a little cabinet for knickknacks that hangs on the wall, a little perhaps a mirror we've ordered. Like, so I've got about 13 picture frames. I've got a mirror and like a knickknack cabinet thing that's all coming. That's all going to go onto this wall. It's something she's wanted for a while, so okay, we'll do it. It's gonna look really cool when it's done.
Yeah, fun, baby, I got you.
It's gonna be
Big O's gonna get it done,
and I get to use my drill and do some serious tap conning, and like this is a lot of tap con action, that will be going down here in the next couple days.
Which wall is this?
So this would be the wall in our living room, if you can picture it. If you're looking at my TV, it'd be the wall to your right.
Okay.
So like if you continue down that wall further to the right, my bathroom would be there. It's the big open wall across from the windows in the living room.
Gotcha.
And we've been here for a while, and sort of like the paint looked a little shitty, and so I'm like, well, how about we, like, before I do all this, let's paint the wall. Mm-hmm. And so we picked out a color yesterday at the hardware store. I got a nice can of.
Did we pick it? Or?
We did, actually. We did. Like, we settled. Like, I think I wanted something a little more bold than she did, and whatever. Like, I'm happy with it. It's a nice color. And so, yeah, it was another thing I did. I put two coats of paint on the wall, edged it all nice, and, I had to do all the taping and the cleaning and the whole thing. So I did that and a fan today. Like that's some pretty good handyman type stuff, buddy. Like, all kidding aside, it was a lot of work. I'm not, I'm kind of over it right now. Now I got to give myself a day or two before I start onto the TapCon project.
Well, before we go into any larger full on project.
Well, I gotta let the paint dry properly, right? That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
What were you going to say?
Oh, well, Owen, what really Now the segue's ruined. I'm just gonna get straight into it. The motherfuckers are already out in front of our Publixes
Oh,
and in our intersections.
the ding dongers.
Yeah, the bell ringers,
Fuck
bro.
the
The
ding
Salvation
dongers.
Army bell ringers.
Never liked them.
Well, and it's not that I dislike charity.
I do.
I get it. You're raising money for less fortunate, even though I've heard Salvation Army.
Yeah,
is like
that's
an
what
awful,
that's my
terrible-
biggest. Yeah, that's my biggest problem with it, is that I think the Salvation Army isn't actually a very great charity. Like, everybody thinks they're super good, but they pocket like a good like percentage of the money and everything. They don't really.
Right.
Yeah.
So I understand you're going to be out there for the Christmas season,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the Christmas season yet.
Nope.
Just because everyone's already put up, all the stores have put it up, doesn't mean you need to be out there yet.
We get it.
Nobody's carved a turkey yet, bro.
Yeah.
If you want to show up Black Friday, I don't care.
Just
Thanksgiving is done.
Thanksgiving happen. I'm with you. We say it every year. Everybody says it every year. It gets earlier and earlier every year, and it does. My biggest problem with the bell ringers is they got lazy a few years back, because they used to actually have to stand out there and ring the bell. When I drew the straw was when one of the fake Santa looking motherfuckers was, and they always, they wear a Santa hat. They rarely have the full beard and the whole getup, right? Because they don't want to
Right.
break the illusion. But they look like, a Santa's helper or something like that. And I did not like this. They were sitting in a lawn chair, number one, with the can next to the lawn chair, not even standing. Because they usually have there's like a base that the can hangs off of. You know what I'm talking about? It looks
like that
tripod thing, yeah. And he was sitting next to it, didn't even have a real bell, had a boom box playing the bell sound.
I 1000% will not donate to you.
Nope. And that's where I drew the line. I'm like, nah. You're too
I want
lazy.
my donation bells hand rung.
Goddamn right.
I'm not going. Pre-recorded bell ring.
Pre-recorded bells, and also you're sitting down. Why are you even here? You could just literally put that on, put the can up there on the tripod, and have a merry day. And then I don't have to actually interact with you.
Now, if you're sitting down and playing a track of bell ringing, you've now gone from charity solicitor to now you're just a bucket security guard.
Yep, that's
you're
what they are.
You're only there now.
Yep.
To make sure no one just runs off with the fucking bucket.
They're not wishing me any happy Christmas, messages. They're not doing. They're just sitting there in a chair letting the bell ring. And it had over top of the bells, it had ho Merry Christmas, things like that, like little sayings as well in the track that they were playing on the boombox.
I will say,
you can't even talk to me. Can't even say that.
You get 1 point, one lonely solid point for taking the ingenuity to record the track of the bells and probably get that together.
They got that off YouTube. They just ripped that file. It's probably a copyrighted audio file that they don't even pay for.
Hold on. I'm going to look this up.
See if you can find ringing bell with Christmas, I don't know, messages, some voices or something like that. Bet you can find one in 2 seconds.
Snowstorm background. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Christmas bells, sound effects with ambience. I don't know, man.
I bet you it's there.
You probably can find it, but I'm giving him credit that if he recorded that himself, and even if he just organized all the tracks together in
He didn't
in whatever
do
program.
That guy didn't do that. The guy
But
that's
I'm-
sitting in the
I'm-
lawn chair, that lazy shit, didn't do that.
But I am right there with you in that I don't think that I'm gonna donate
Nope.
to anybody if you're not standing.
Put in the work. Put in the work.
Also, somebody sent me, because I put this up in Facebook. Somebody sent me a Google job posting.
Uh-huh.
They're paying like $13-14 an hour
For bell
If you're-
ringers?
Yeah. If you're doing a 10-hour shift,
I
just
thought-
sitting there.
I thought they were charity.
Well,
I thought they were volunteer. I thought they were volunteers doing it out of the goodness of their hearts.
I think maybe it switched a couple years ago, where maybe now.
Yeah,
Nobody's doing that
probably
on
right
volunteer.
around the time they started hitting the button on the boombox.
Mm-hmm. Bro, what if you get to the Salvation Army and like, here's your bell and your bucket tripod, here's your
Your silly hat.
here's your Bluetooth speaker.
Yep.
Link it up to your phone and go to this YouTube site, and
Yep.
it plays an 8-hour loop.
We're actually on SoundCloud now.
Oh, yeah. So, bro, that's gonna be that. Again, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with what you're saying about the laziness, but I also don't. Man, let me have Thanksgiving first.
I'm with
That's
you.
my really big issue with this, is you're
Oh.
not letting me
I'm with you.
enjoy
I'm with you.
Thanksgiving for what it is.
Yeah. That being said, you know what I think it's time for?
I mean, maybe it's time to bring forth the clips.
All right, it's time for clips, where we take a look at all the random stuff that I find on the internet. Do you have the cone of content, Mikey?
I see the cone of content.
All right,
It graced me with its presence.
That means we are ready to go. Speaking of the holidays, let's start with this one. I'm always fascinated with these recipes from the past because they seem so disgusting. This one here, Mikey, is for by the company Kraft. This is 1971. This is their Miracle Whip mold. And here's a commercial for it. This is during that time. There was an era where everything was a mold and like a jello. Here we go. Here we go.
It isn't too early to be thinking about something spectacular for holiday eating. And cranberry crimson mold could be it. It's colorful, good, and you can make it ahead of time.
First off, look at the state of that. Look at the state of that.
It says cranberry crimson mold, but it does look like a ring of hot dog.
It looks like a ring of bologna. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Yeah.
Pressed meat.
Yeah, it does. It does. Let's see what's in it.
We started by dissolving 2 packages of strawberry-flavored gelatin
All right, so strawberry jello.
in a cup and a half of boiling water.
All right.
And now we're adding the gelatin gradually to a cup of Miracle Whip.
Why are you being so messy with your pouring into the bowl, by the way, too? The poor technique. Like, get a proper...
Terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Even I can do better than that.
And
Salad
they
dressing.
said they're pouring it into Miracle Whip.
Yep, they are.
You just lost me.
Yep.
Trevor. It's step 2, and you've lost
That's
me.
how they're making this bologna mold.
Ugh.
That's where the creamy look and the teasing flavor come from.
Is it?
After the mixture has chilled till
Teasing?
it's slightly...
Look at the... Oh, God. Miracle Whip and strawberry jello, bro.
Here's the thing. It looks tasty because I'm like, ooh, it'd be strawberry. It'd just be like creamy strawberry. I would assume you put a little bit of like half and half or like heavy cream in there.
Yeah. But no, they want it to harden so they can make a mold.
thickened. Fold in a 10-ounce package of cranberry relish and a cup and a half of applesauce. It's a marvelous combination of flavors.
Okay.
And the lively,
3 out of the 4 of these
teasing
ingredients
taste of Miracle
sound
Whip.
great.
Yeah, that's why are we putting the Miracle Whip in?
Yeah, you're like,
Is-
ooh, strawberry jello. Ooh, cranberry relish. Love it. Applesauce sounds great. What's that 4th ingredient, guys? They're like, oh, we got you. Miracle Whip.
perfect for it. Just before serving, unmold it, Then we're going to top it off with more Miracle Whip
Oh, yeah.
and watercress. With holiday time coming up and lots of sandwiches and salads to be made, better
Wait,
get
wait,
a
wait,
couple
wait.
of
What they
jars
put on
of
top of that middle Miracle Whip? What they put on?
Some watercress.
What the fuck? Oh,
That's because that's what's gonna save it. That's what's gonna save it, buddy.
you need. Oh yeah, you really gotta top it off with the watercress.
Uh-huh.
God, this sounds disgusting.
copyable Miracle Whip from Kraft.
How are you even supposed to eat it? Do you take a slice of it? Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you take a scoop? Do you make it like, do you cut it like a cake?
Oh,
Do
well,
you-
see, what you do is you get a spatula
Yeah.
and then you get it under it and then you take it over to the bin and just peel it all off the plate right into the
That's
bin.
probably pretty accurate. So yeah, that's
Oh,
something that they
you know
did
what?
back in the day.
Even if I was okay with the slight chance that maybe you got me to eat like one spoonful of the ring outside,
Yeah.
why did you fill the middle with more
Yeah.
mayonnaise?
Yeah, that's Ty would be throwing up right now, I think, because of how much he hates mayonnaise.
I'm ready to. I
Yeah.
want to push. I want to give a noogie to the house mom that makes this.
Yeah, exactly. Moving forward, okay, I'm not actually gonna give you much context on this one. All I'm gonna say is this is a company that is doing a lot of rebranding right now. Okay, this is a company who really wants to, and again, I don't want to ruin it. Because I kind of want you to guess what the company is advertising here. But this is a company that wants to reestablish their brand as something hot, new for the year 2020, I guess 2025, right? Here we go. So the name of the campaign is called Copy Nothing. Again, showing their originality, right? Here we go.
Okay.
Create.
Already, it's feeling like very spacey. Like,
Yeah, can we I need your commentary on this, because we have, what are the phrase,
So-
the first phrase that pops up is create exuberant.
so it does. It looks like a bunch of
Weirdo.
very oddly dressed, almost on like a lot of oddly dressed characters.
They look like they're going to Burning Man. Live vivid.
Yeah.
Delete ordinary. Break molds. Look at these fucking weirdos. Look at
It
this.
definitely. It would give me more of like a perfume or cologne commercial vibe.
Yeah, I mean,
right
it's
now.
got 100%. It's got that totally. It's got those types of vibes.
Maybe like a high fashion house.
Yep.
Like maybe they're announcing like the new winter line, or maybe they're coming out towards the spring line.
Yeah, I could see all those things. I could even see like a Macy's or something weird, like a big store.
Maybe
like
maybe an Old Navy.
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
some of
I'll give you that. Yeah, all those things totally in line with what I was thinking. No. Copy nothing. Jaguar, the car company.
Wait. There wasn't a single
Car.
Jaguar
Yeah.
in
No,
that commercial.
no, there's not. This is their rebranding of basically, this is how Jaguar fails. The priceless cars that are classics that James Bond has driven, that, have been
Aston Martins.
Well, James Bond didn't drive Aston Martins for the most part, yes, but Jaguars he did as well.
Yeah.
And Jaguar is synonymous with like rich, high cultured, British branding. Like they're obviously trying to get away from that and do this fucking dumb shit. And
But why, man? You're
you already-
turning your back on
Yeah.
you're advertising to people who won't buy your cars.
Mhm.
Dude, I would have doubled down on some like real okay. So if I'm
Jaguar has a classic brand, a built-in it reeks of like Mercedes or like BMW. It reeks of like kind of luxury and wealth and kind of like even more so with like British class and all those types of things. Like that is what makes Jaguar Jaguar, and that's a very, very powerful branding technique. Then you go with this. Bizarre.
1 second. I know. Yeah, see, it was they Jaguar sold a while back.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was a whole thing with them and like Rover were owned by the same company at one point.
Yeah,
someone
Jaguar and
ate
Land
them up.
Rover-
Someone ate them up. Did Ford eat them up?
No, it was Tata Motors. I think it's like the same people who own like Kia and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then. Yeah.
So I think yes, now that they are owned not independently by themselves anymore, I think they're just trying to branch out, but I don't think
I don't think
it's
this
a
is the
good
right
move.
way. Yeah, this isn't the right way. This is
make fewer Jaguars, like, but you can't rebrand to this.
no.
Your core, the people that were left as your core Jaguar like fans and the people who are still buying your cars.
Yeah, the 50, 60-year-old businessman, the English businessman. Guess what? You just lost him.
Oh, this commercial, he may never buy another one again because now you alienated him because he's none of those.
Nope, doesn't understand any of that shit.
Yeah, I can
know your audience, right?
Well, again, Owen, this is a little bit of that agenda thing. Maybe this isn't full agenda, but this may be just you're selling to the new generation.
Yep.
And you're not a new generation car. One,
no,
you're too expensive.
That commercial would have been appropriate for a Tesla. In a way, you know?
Correct. Yeah.
But not
100%.
this. Not this. Yeah. No, doesn't work.
I think if I'm correct in that they are owned by Kia, that's a perfect Kia commercial.
It is. I mean, I still think you should show a car in a car commercial or for a car brand.
Especially one as iconic as Jaguar. You definitely should have shown what you're coming to the table with.
They're going to come out with something. It's like Jaguar is no longer a car brand. Jaguar is a lifestyle brand or something like that. It's going to be something like that.
Can we also admit that I don't think everything needs to be a lifestyle?
No. You can just like a product and be like, yeah, I think they make good watches, or I think they make, this or that, or like, yeah, I just like wrestling, or I just like D&D, or I just like Ninja Turtles. You don't have to be like your whole lifestyle is that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely become something we're going to be battling going forward. Is like everything's going. Oh,
because no one can form their
Jaguar
own
lifestyle.
Yeah, no one can form their own identities anymore. They have to be told what to like. Moving on. We'll go to this. There was a big hearing, of course, in the States. More about the UFOs, bro. And I
know where they live now.
Well, yeah, they're saying they come from underneath the seas. That like there's all sorts of stuff going on, right? But there were a couple more like tiny tidbits of information, nothing major, relevant from the last hearing that we just had. But since it's in the news, I thought we'd go back and take a look at this guy. This is the UFO guy from back in the day. This looks like 90s.
Did WGN ever reconnect with the UFO guy Juan Carlos interviewed at O'Hare? Well, we tried to find this guy, and we even left messages with his mother and grandmother somewhere in Texas.
So I'm like all about like crazy UFO footage and like know a fair amount of like these types of videos, like I'm surprised I've never come across this dude. I've never heard of just the UFO guy. So this one was like a new revelation to me, but here we go.
But we could never find him. Take a look at Juan Carlos's conversation with the UFO guy.
What do you think? Do you believe in UFOs?
Oh yeah, yes sir, definitely. They're out there, man. I seen them. I've been out there, Aurora, Texas. They got them little graves and stuff.
First off, this guy's awesome.
Well, you can tell he fully believes it.
Oh yeah, he's fully in.
Yeah, I've been out there, and I know I'm planning a trip. We're going out to like Arizona or something and figure something out. Or not Arizona, what was it? Yeah, it was Arizona, right? Air Force One where they found all that stuff. I got pictures of Aurora. I seen grave sites.
Air Force One where they found all that alien stuffs.
I think he means Area 51, which is, I believe, was it Nevada or New Mexico? Wait
Nevada.
Nevada, yeah.
And I'm flying.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, I like that the one little slip up completely derails this whole thing to now I believe that the president is like having food on Air Force One with the like little grays.
Yeah,
and they're just chilling.
I like his version more.
Air Force One where they found all that stuff. I got pictures of Aurora. I seen grave sites. They're out there, man, and I'm flying in the plane. I'm always hallucinating, but who really knows what I'm looking at? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. You're flying in a plane, hallucinating?
Yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess.
Okay.
Well, but there's no proof of this. Just people's accounts.
You're right. There's no proof, but I mean, there's no proof of Jesus or, people go in the restroom until they tell you about it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just kind of the way I see things.
It's an odd choice.
Hold on. I like the juxtaposition of things he used to prove his point.
Yeah, me too.
Jesus. Fair. I totally get that one.
Yeah.
We don't know.
There's not a
couple thousand years ago.
There's not a ton of
I don't know
proof.
if he's alive.
Yeah.
But the other one, we don't know that people went to the bathroom
Unless they
until
tell
they
you about
told
it.
us about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it's an interesting point.
Right,
That is
so you believe it,
infallible logic, by the way.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, definitely.
then? Do you think there's like little green men out there?
No little green men, sir.
No? Well, what do you think there is out there?
Who knows, dude? They could be made of water. I don't even know.
Water?
Water, man. You heard the man. Water. They could be made of anything. Extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial, you mean?
He also
extraterrestrial.
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 There you go.
This guy's a legend, bro. I love
He also referred to himself momentarily in the third person.
Yeah, he
as,
did. Listen to
You
the
heard
man.
that, man?
Yeah, listen to the man.
But he was talking in reference to himself.
I think so. This guy is just on mushrooms, right? Or acid or something, probably, right?
If he's doing this 100% sober, I want to hang out with this guy because this guy is now he is just off the rails.
Yes.
If this is sobriety, this is off the rails.
This guy's awesome. All right, moving forward. Got two more clips for you this evening. This I just found this super interesting. I've always been fascinated with the culture of like the Maori in New Zealand. And I've always found, like, have you ever seen a traditional haka? They'll do it like at the rugby games, and like it's like a war dance basically, right? And they yell and they scream, and like they used to do it like to intimidate the people they were going in to fight in battle.
Yeah.
So in the New Zealand Parliament this past week, there's been some stuff that's come across in their government that's sort of like, I think, taking away, I don't know the whole like ins and outs, but I think the long and short of it is like the New Zealand government's taking away the rights of like the I don't want to guess Aboriginal people or like the natives, like, and yeah, like taking away like some of the rights of and like their culture and all that. And so there's this woman and plenty of people that have that heritage and culture in the New Zealand Parliament, and they just straight up start doing a haka. And if I was the rest of those people in this New Zealand Parliament, I'd be like, okay, whatever you say, you get whatever you want.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Look at this chick.
If 6 votes opposed.
Fucking badass, right?
Okay, while it is badass, and I do like that they're using it as like a listen, bro, like you're coming for our culture right now. We're 100% not okay with this. Like this is to show you that you should be like we're not just gonna take this lying down.
Yeah.
Also, though, if I am the fucking head of this parliamentary Congress, House of Representatives, whatever the fuck this is, the first motherfucker that yells out and starts this haka bullshit,
get him out.
Gavel, gavel, gavel. Someone get this person out of my fucking chamber.
This guy's a crazy person. Yeah.
Not dealing with anyone else who wants to haka in here can haka out in the fucking hallway. We're not doing this. This is a fucking place.
This is a court of order, sir.
Yeah, this is a place of order. This isn't a place for your war dance. This isn't a place for your cultural movements. This is a place for words. This is a place for discussions, not war dances, brother.
Well, there's a little more.
I get it, but get that shit in the hallway.
There's a little more of it. The best part is the uninterested, boring white people that are sitting right in the front that like just are trying to not even like acknowledge it.
Well, the weirder
what?
I think the weirder thing is to speak on what you're saying. These people are probably from the area, man. They have probably had it up to here with the constant hakas.
Yeah.
Every time there's a fucking disagreement with the Maori, there's got to be a goddamn haka going on.
I'm at the grocery store. The line's taking too long. A fucking haka's going on again.
You won't let him. They won't let him use all of his coupons.
Yeah,
so he's
another haka.
Another haka.
God damn it.
Somebody rear-ended this guy in traffic. There's a haka in traffic. Like, I'm so over all the Aboriginal descent.
The gallery is to be cleared.
Yeah. Why don't you and Panama Jack take that haka into the goddamn hallway, okay? Jesus. I don't... Bro, you let him do the whole fucking haka, and now you're like, okay.
Fine.
On,
enough, guys. Enough.
Take it out.
And then, like, obviously, when I think of, like, those were, like, two residents that are not in Parliament, but the one who started it, who is, like, actually on, like, the board or, like, who is, like, a representative, she has to go to her seat and sit down and, like, continue, like, normal now. You know? Like, she has to just, like, okay, back to point 3014, like, I motion in the order of the blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, she has to go right back to, like, political talk and, like, legal talk and whatever.
She's actually the next speaker on, like, budgetary restrictions and limitations.
Yeah, like, we can't take you seriously anymore. You just fucking hawk at our face off. Thank you.
Yeah. Bro, you know what I'm thinking, Owen? Us whites, we need to have a cultural dance that isn't just asking for the manager when things go wrong. I'm telling you, if we had our own haka, if we had a white haka for when we didn't get our way,
it would be so lame, though.
Listen,
but it would be ours. It would be ours.
Listen, I'm telling you, you have to watch one or two cringy all white hakas. You're going to give some people what they want because you don't want a third. They're just going to keep doing it. They have no time. They have nothing to do. Man, you're gonna see so many white hakas. This is obviously, I think, why we don't have one, because it'd just be blown out. It'd be overused.
Yeah,
And
we would.
think about it-
We would overuse it.
To think about it, I'm sure right now, the way all those people are looking at it and from their little parliament seats, I'm guessing this happens quite often. And what I'm saying is true, that they're like, oh my God, like, can we not go one parliament session
Without another
without a haka?
goddamn haka. Fuck. All right. Well, we got one more clip for this week. And I love a good British Christmas song. And I'm sorry, Mike. It is too early for Christmas.
Do they have their own? Do you all have your own?
Oh, yeah. We got a bunch of them. Like, we've got, we're walking in the snow. Like that one. And we got, simply having wonderful Christmas time. That's one. And then we got, so here it is. Merry Christmas. Everybody's having fun.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. So those are all like we have more fun at Christmas. All yours over here, like, I'm dreaming of Christmas. They're all slow and boring. All ours are like, we have fun. Like we have party Christmas songs. Like, because
Right.
British Christmas, we all get drunk, like, let's just be real. Like, that's just what happens. That's why we have Boxing Day the day after, so we can recover and before we go back to work. But this is one that I'd never heard of before, and it's by a band called the Snowmen, called Hokey Cokey. All right, here we go.
With your left leg in, your left leg out. In that, shake it all about. Do the yucky cucky when you turn around. That's what it's all about.
Now, the frightening...
These snowmen are fucking scary, bro.
Yeah, they are. They're scary as hell.
It almost looks like a Clockwork Orange took on snowmen.
Yeah, no, it does. It's very Clockwork Orange. You're right.
Your right leg in, your right leg out. In that, shake it all about. Do the yucky cucky when you turn around. That's what it's all about. Your left arm in, your left arm out. In that, shake it all about. Do the yucky cucky when you turn around.
Oh, and question.
That's what it's all about.
Does he say shake it all about or shag it all about?
I think it was shake it, but do we want to go back? We can listen here. Let's see.
I
don't know. I mean, we need to look. I need to actually look up the lyrics of this because let me see. Hokey Cokey Snowmen lyrics. Let's see what we can find here. Believe it is shake it, according to
it is.
Yeah, I believe it is shake it. I believe.
Your left arm in, your left arm out. In that, shake it all about.
It is the accent, but it does sound like shag it all about. You're right.
Because when they're doing the arms, it looks like he's fisting.
Also, the band is called the Snowmen. They're singing a song called Hokey Cokey. Are we picking up what I'm maybe putting down that might have been like
Kane references?
Yeah. Just saying that might have something to do. And then like, I like Cokey Cokey. I like Cokey Cokey.
Right arm in, your right arm out. In that, shake it all about. Do the yucky cucky when you turn around. That's what it's all about.
now the snowman is playing a keyboard with his dick carrot nose. And it goes back to what I was saying. Party Christmas. I think that these guys are doing cocaine on Christmas, which is something.
I did look it up to see the prevalence of use between the U.S. and America.
Yeah.
We're number one.
Oh, with cocaine?
But yeah, 2.7% of the population uses. England and Wales, very close, 2.67.
Oh, and we're much smaller population too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of people doing cocaine in the UK. Oh yeah. Think of all the clubs.
The song is a banger, though.
The song's a banger. It's added. I'm getting this added to my Christmas playlist. So there you go. Thought you would enjoy that one as my final clip.
I do love the hokey cokey.
All right, that was clips. Yep. So I think that was a pretty successful clips, buddy. I think
loved it.
If I
enjoyed the clips.
If I don't say so myself, I did want to talk a little bit about the 1990 film House Guest that I saw this week as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this was on a Tubi or one of those free,
Pluto.
Yeah, one of them. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go back and check out a good old-fashioned Sinbad film, right?
Nice.
Hadn't watched a Sinbad movie in a while. Now, the premise of the film, first off, this is one of those movies that it's like, why is this guy, why are we supporting him? Like, this guy is a bad dude. Like, this guy should be arrested for what he's doing here.
Okay.
His name is Kevin Franklin, and he's from inner city Pittsburgh. He was raised in an orphanage and had delusions of grandeur. Talks about getting rich driving a Porsche one day. 25 years later, he drives a rusted MG midget, and all of his ambitions revolve around a series of ill-fated get-rich-quick schemes. A handshake loan of $5,000 from a loan shark grows to $50,000 through interest and penalties, resulting him in trying to skip town at the Pittsburgh International Airport. So already, this guy's like skipping on his debts, right? Like that's not a good thing. He overhears a conversation between a lawyer, Gary Young, and his children as they are waiting to pick up his childhood friend, Derek Bond. Now, this is Gary's childhood friend, not Kevin's.
Right.
Who is now a successful, straight-laced, and vegetarian dentist. Upon hearing him say he's not seen Derek in 25 years and does not know what he looks like, Kevin gives his baseball cap to the real Derek to throw off the two dim-witted mobsters chasing him, the loan sharks, right? And poses as Derek to the Youngs, who take them to their posh home in Sewickley. So Phil Hartman plays the Gary Young lawyer guy, and he's just trying to hook up, with his buddy who he hasn't seen in 20, his old buddy. And because, Kevin is also black, Derek is black, he believes that this is Derek. So first off, Phil Hartman's a bit of a dumbass for, you don't look anything like that anymore. And
he's racist.
Yeah. So I think he goes and stays with them in their home. Although he knows nothing about dentistry, Kevin still manages to convince those around him that he's in fact Derek Bond. And his affable personality makes him popular with Gary's otherwise stuffy and rich associates. Gary has little time for his family. His wife, Emily, runs a chain of successful new frozen yogurt businesses, which gradually builds a gap between them, largely due to the demands of his bigoted, arrogant boss at the law firm where he works, and the fact that the clients are a rival yogurt company that is Emily's competition. This leads to Kevin developing a bond with Gary's goth daughter, Brooke, helping her stand up to her cheating boyfriend, and his young son, Jason, who has aspirations of playing pro basketball. Literally, the black dude's like, "Hey, I'll teach you how to play basketball," and like a little bit of that, right? And it's one of those like where it's like, "Oh, look at the cool black dude!" Like everybody likes the cool black dude. Like,
Hold on,
one of them.
let's take this just a little bit further in. The obvious black guy move. He teaches the young son how to play basketball. Obvious trope, mildly racist, but you could let it slide.
Sure.
But if you're reading into this line, Sinbad teaching a daughter how to stand up to her abusive boyfriend.
Yep. And it's the goth daughter too, who he's trying to like be like, "It's okay, you can be yourself." Like,
but I think it's a little on the nose to, hey, here's how you stand up to a man that's beating on you.
Yep, that definitely is in there a little bit. Yeah.
All he really has to do at the end here is invite the whole family to the barbecue, and you've really just stuck the old racist hat trick for a movie, haven't you?
There's a lot of shenanigans that involve the mobsters. He gets taken hostage at one point. Trying to like speed through this a little bit here because we don't need to do the whole movie.
Oh, it's looking like maybe at some point Sinbad has to give a speech. He's part of a board of all white old men, and he's probably got to give a speech.
Well, at one point in the movie, like, because like the other guy's a dentist, he gets like invited to this thing where it's one of those like where like other medicine or dental professionals want to watch the master at work. So the dude actually like goes and performs oral surgery on a guy like without like not like having any knowledge of dentistry. So like that's another crime. Like so this guy's just racking up
the super felony.
Yeah, this guy's just like racking up all the crimes. Yeah, of course at the end of the movie, the family love him. He brings the family back together and they're like, "Yay, Sinbad or Kevin. Woohoo."
Real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to blow the movie apart in I don't know, 2-3 sentences. So if you're Derek, you're the real Derek. And you miss your flight. However that happens. I assume maybe I don't know. Maybe they address it.
If you remember, he puts Kevin puts like his baseball cap on him because the mob is chasing him. So they think that's him, and then they kidnap him. They take him out of the equation. So he's not a worry. Like he's got this very innocent dude now in trouble with the mob, in which that's his fault.
Yes. So that's what I was going to get to. Either we're under the assumption that the mafia kidnaps a guy. More than likely, if you owe him $50,000, you're dead. Because this is $50,000 in the 90s. $50,000 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So one,
or at least a couple broken kneecaps or something, right?
Yeah. So one, Phil Hartman's old buddy is at the very least maimed, at the very worst,
and in serious
dead.
danger.
Oh yeah, and it probably under ransom or definitely a hostage. Two, even if we just assume that the Russians caused Derek to just miss his flight. You know, they get him, they capture him, and they go, "Hey, you're not this guy that we intimately know. We've seen him." I watched. There's a part in the trailer where they're like slapping.
Oh no, I was gonna play the trailer here for you here in a second. We're gonna watch the trailer as we close out the show here.
I saw a little clip, and the mobsters are like slapping Sinbad like playfully on the cheek.
Yeah.
So they obviously
they
know.
have met the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, they know who Sinbad is.
Yeah. And he's
So they
clearly
get to
not
this
this
other-
Derek guy.
Yeah, so they get him, and they rough him up, and they're like, "Hey, now," and then they go, "Oh wait, you're not Sinbad. Our apologies," and they let him go.
That doesn't
I
work.
would-
doesn't
I
work
would
like
s-
that. I don't think
No,
it
no,
works
now, hold
like
on.
that.
I would say your very next move is you go, "Hey, Phil Hartman. Hey, man, I missed my flight."
That dude that's with you right now is not me.
Even if you don't know that, let's assume that
Right,
you don't
right.
even know.
Yeah,
that
you just
Sinbad's
called him and
there.
you're like, hey man, some crazy shit happened. I got kidnapped by the mob and stuff. Like something weird happened.
Yeah,
But
so
man,
you call
I'm so
Phil Hartman
sorry.
and you go, "Hey, man, I missed my flight. I'm definitely not going to be there at the flight you're waiting for me. I'm going to call you back in like an hour when I figure out which flight I'm going to be on." And now the whole movie, whoop.
So what happens is somehow he gets out of his debt because he wins an instant lottery ticket. He purchased a day for a chance at $1 million cash prize spin on a Saturday night television show, which he reluctantly gives up to the mobsters in exchange for his $50,000 debt. A chance at a $1 million spin on a television show. They forgive his debt.
What kind of bullshit Deus Ex Machina is this nonsense?
The mobsters basically fail and land on $5,000, which was the original amount that he owed. Convenient.
Oh my
right?
God.
Right. I just have to throw this in here. So the movie ends with basically, of course, the family loving Sinbad. Sinbad goes on to become successful by writing a series of books called The Handbook for House Guests, based on his experiences with the family. Okay, so like conning a full family, right? And then, okay, because you brought it up earlier, this is brilliant. During the closing credits, Gary and Kevin sing a melody of food-based parodies of Christmas songs as they cook a barbecue in the Young's backside outside of a Christmas party.
These motherfuckers, they're so racist. But again, this was 95. You could be that casually racist back then.
Yeah, it's just blatant. Check it out. We're going to watch the trailer together. And then I've also got a short compilation of the best moments from the movie. This is the House Guest trailer, so we're all on the same page. Here we go.
Gary Young was looking for his long-lost friend.
I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to hit the button. My bad, dude. 1 second there. I will pull it back up. I forgot to do that part. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Doop. That's sort of weird. Sometimes it does like to, Zoom just likes to be a jerk.
You're a jerk.
Sure. No cone? Cone? No
I got cone.
All right, you got cone. Then we should be good. All right, let's go. Trailer.
Gary Young was looking for his long-lost friend.
I told him I'd pick him up out here.
Kevin Franklin
Where's it go?
I want $50,000 tomorrow, or you're dead.
was looking to get lost.
Excuse me. What does he look like, Dad?
I don't really know. I haven't seen him in 25 years.
And thanks to a case of mistaken identity,
Hey, Derek, that's right.
It's me!
It's you.
they're about to become as close as two friends can be.
That's it.
Oh yeah, he steals his car at one point, won't, because the mob's chasing him, and he's like, "Oh, I want to drive," type thing. Gets Phil Hartman's car and drives like an absolute fucking maniac. Puts his kids in danger.
Oh yeah, in his little like sensible Volvo.
Yeah.
You have changed.
Now, I'm home. I'm staying with some family. They think I'm a dentist.
He may not speak French.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Michel, my belle. He may not play golf.
I look like Fat Albert. Come on, let me wash your balls for you.
Now, as long as I have the stick, you won't.
Go! This man needs a dentist.
Would it be possible for us to...
By the way, that was that pedophile that's in.
Oh yeah, that died from the Ferris Bueller movie.
Yeah, that pedophile's in that movie.
see Dr. Bond perform the procedure?
You might want to just get washed up. Nurse, would you go get some more topical anesthetic?
No.
He puts the top instead of washing up his hands with soap. He uses the topical Novocaine on his hands. Now he can't feel his hands, but yet he's still going to fake doing some dental surgery.
No, but as long as no one catches on. Kevin's having the time of Derek's life.
He's a nice guy.
He's the genuine
Oh, let's have him sing a black
Pictures
song.
Oh yeah, Brick House is like the whole half the movie. We have to find the end scene of them singing the song too. We have to.
Told me he was a stuffed shirt conservative.
Oh, that's since the accident.
Two great white sharks came out of nowhere. Bam!
There's a lot you should know about Derek.
And his eye was on me. His eye.
Yeah, he tells him he gets in like a boat wreck and he gets like in a shark attack, and that's what like changed him or something.
Eye was on me.
Sinbad.
If I was under your hair, I would pull this out. I would go to the natural color. But that's you, baby.
Phil Hartman.
I often fantasize about being Matlock.
In the story of a man.
Phil Hartman, by the way, is the standout performance of this movie and is so much better. Like, you can tell he's like trying to make lemonade out of lemons here. Like, he's actually got a couple of decent, funny one-liners, but the script won't let him actually be good.
Right.
Yeah, because Phil Hartman is great.
Who found his place in the world
I'm turning to Mary Poppins out here.
by taking somebody else's.
I was cold. I want you to look at my wife. What do you think?
You're a lucky man.
Oh, so does that mean you can do something for her?
Whoa! House guest.
Oh.
Oh God, dude. So let's just
It is on YouTube. I have it right here.
All right, we won't even do the best moments then. Let me stop, and then we'll find it on YouTube real quick.
I just put in food parodies from House Guest, and
Yeah.
it's like the second or third.
It's
option
it's
now.
like the end. I forgot about that part. I was so just like blown away from this movie watching it and like critically analyzing it that I forgot that was part of the movie. Let's see here. House Guest. Food. You said food parody. Yeah. It's like it's like the end of the movie. And it's terrible. It's oh yeah, also the product placement with Big Macs is like throughout the entire movie. Parody Christmas carols. That's the one we want. Yep, here we go. Do the right thing and put it up right again. All right. So many steps to all this. That one. Share. Here we go. This is all worth it because we get Sinbad, man. Here we go.
Come on, buddy. Let's get some grub. We wish you a chili burger. We wish you a chili burger. We wish you a chili burger and a mug of cold beer.
So this is after he knows all of his deceit, his horrible things that he's done. Now they're buddies.
Hold the grill with fatty meat. Put it on a bun and eat. French fries, the brown skin vegetable, cooked in a lot of grease.
All of the other nuggets.
Wish they could be red meat.
5 onion rings, 4 dill pickles, 3 chocolate shakes, 2 apple pies,
And one big fat cheeseburger.
Yeah!
Patty melt, patty melt, patty melt on rye.
Oh, what fun it is to scarf. Hey, chili cheese.
All right,
chili
Bill.
cheese,
Take
chili
it to the
cheese,
top.
Stuff it down, eat it all.
Sorry.
Sing it. Great big slab of Swiss.
Was that one of Sinbad's things, like eating a lot of fatty foods? Like was that a thing? Like, was he?
I mean, he wasn't like a
slim
thin
guy.
man.
No, I think it might have been one of his things that I never really picked up on.
He's just a big old fatty.
Yeah.
Oh, what happiness!
Like a slob, you know?
Cheeseburger, burger all the way.
All right. Oh, what fun it is to munch a cheeseburger today.
We sucked it down so fast
that we burped it up all night.
Man, they really think they're doing something, don't they?
I know, they do.
Real fast. Pile on bacon and blue cheese. Bag the diet.
You'll be buying bigger blue jeans.
Already got 'em, man.
We don't care if we get fatter. Give me one more piece of apple pie. Drop the fries in a deep fat fryer. Lord, watch them sizzle, crisp and bubble.
Someone thought this was really good.
Already got him a city.
And his name is Sinbad.
If we get fatter, give me one more piece of apple pie. You better lay it on me, baby. Ground sirloin.
Mr. President.
Sweet sirloin.
Hillary, sit in your chair. She won't get out.
Sure, you'd cost.
Chelsea put the cat in the dryer again. What should I do?
Lots of coin.
Yeltsin calls that they need more toilet tissue.
But when I swallow you
Noriega said he heard you calling pizza face.
into my gut,
Your brother Roger wants a loan again.
I can feel my veins.
He's doing Clinton now.
slamming
Clinton,
shut.
yeah.
Cindy Crawford called.
I'll get back to her. That's the risk that I take.
Said beeper. You know the number.
Yeah. That's the risk that I take.
Oh, your thigh master's here.
Yeah, I broke the last one. Joy to the world, the meat is done. It burns.
Okay, he was the president there. He said, your thigh master's here. I broke the last one. Is that...
Was Clinton known for a powerful thigh?
I think that's like a... Is that like a blowjob joke? Like a Monica Lewinsky, like...
I don't
that
know.
was his thing? Like, I don't know.
That's kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, we gotta see this, just because it's that cringy. But the scene where we get Brick House from the movie House Guest here.
Onophile extraordinaire will introduce us to some of my favorite ones.
They're at a fancy white tasting with all these white people.
We have a great selection. The waiters will be serving you, but first, Derek, your comments.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. Well, like Gary said, we have some dark wines and some light wines for dark and light people. This one here is Shady Laffit. This is a happy wine. Let's just hold the party up. Why don't we just pass this around and drink up?
Don't you smell the cork? Swirl it around the glass. What about the nose?
What about the booty? You want the corks? Here you go. Besides, who are you to tell me? Xylophone extraordinaire. I'll taste one.
Vincent Montgomery, wine critic for the Zwickly Register. May I?
Yes, you may.
Please. Thank you.
Snooty swirling.
Yep. Gotta make fun of the nerdy, snooty guy who basically has like an orgasm over the wine.
I like my wine bright, rich, mature, developed, seductive, with nice legs and a prolonged finish.
Well, sounds like you need a woman. Some folks drink wine, some people date. Well, folks, drink up. This is a party. Here you go. Matter of fact, why don't you
That
drink it right
is
out the bottle,
weird.
man? That's the way you want
What a
to
weird scene, right?
Here you go. Out the bottle, man. You can do it. Go.
He's getting them to chug wine out of the bottle.
Some wino stuff right there.
Now this is the party, people. Drink up.
Oh, yeah. He's going to teach him how to party now. There you go.
Oh, the funky bass line came in.
Oh, yeah. Now the wino's loosening up. They got fucked up on the wine.
Whoa.
She's mighty, mighty, and one that all
Man. So
there you go.
I gotta say, they did hit a lot of tropes on the white side too.
Yep.
The white guy
they
singing
just troped it
overly
up.
enunciated.
Yep, they troped it up pretty good.
The older woman singing like a more of an operatic vibe. They definitely
Yep.
do that so often. And also the idea that a very boring, uptight white party, all it needed was one hip black guy
to set it off.
And it also sends this mystery out that that's what we want as white people.
Maybe I want a boring white person party.
And, well, I just mean that.
I mean, some people do. Some people don't want that.
Oh, well, I meant more that, like, we're all just one interesting black guy away from being cool and having a good time, but we just can't do it on our own.
I understand now why Phil Hartman's wife did what she did.
Yeah, I mean, did you see how much fun they were having when they weren't being uptight whites?
Yeah. So that movie had a budget of $10.5 million, made $325 million. 26
mil.
26 mil.
That's a decent return. You
not
doubled
bad.
you got your money back plus.
Yeah. So Sinbad, I mean, I wonder what's his net worth, do you think?
He's dead, right?
Sinbad's alive. I think. Yeah, I think he was on Tom and Dan not too long ago. What's Sinbad's net worth?
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
Not good.
Oh man. How did he lose all his money? 100,000? That's what I'm seeing. Oh, in 2013 he was forced to file for Chapter 13 bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He fucked up on his taxes. It was tax
11 mil in debt.
Yeah. Oof. Ooh, wow. And now he's worth $100,000.
Damn.
No wonder he's doing podcasts now.
I mean, you got to now.
Yeah. So there you go. That was my adventure into Sinbad's house guest. I thought you'd find that pretty interesting because I
like that.
Yeah, that was it.
What a good time.
Yeah. I think it's about enough for this evening, unless you want to tell us anything else, unless you've got anything to add your final thoughts on.
Well, I will say one final thought, Owen, because I got stuck behind someone in the Walmart this week, and all I'm going to say, folks, going to go out in public, bathe yourself.
Oh, yeah. One of those. Yeah. I mean, it is Walmart. You kind of get what you expect.
Understandable, but you never some people are a little funky, and you kind of get. And I've been guilty of being a little funky at a Walmart here and there.
Sure.
This was more than a little funky.
Yeah.
This was like a rank, like
doo-doo.
It smelled like a little bit of poo-poo, a little bit of body odor, a little bit of just like musty clothing. Like he was hitting it from all sides, and I was like,
was this a homeless looking person? Was this?
No, it was a man in one of these little electric scooter.
Oh, he was fat then.
Yeah, big dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, he probably can't bathe himself properly or chooses not to or take care of himself in any fashion or form.
Yeah. But it was a tough to had people not been behind me, I probably would have just found a different line, but there was already like 2 people behind me.
Yeah. I probably would have done it anyway. I mean, those are situations where if I'm in one that's that bad, I will start gagging, and then it's like I might throw up. Like, and I got to remove myself from that situation. Like, too strong of a smell like that. Like because then I go through my head of like, oh man, it just like it. Then it like
it infects you.
Yeah, and it starts like exaggerating in my head, and it's like, God, I can't do this. I can't do it.
Then you start wondering like, how could it get like this? Like, you're just not showering? Are you putting on gross clothing every day? Like, are your clothes getting wet, and then you're just not? Yeah, my brain does start spinning, and then it just makes all the smells like.
At that point, that person should just be like, only be allowed to, like, Instacart or something. Like, you're only allowed to order your groceries from home. Like, I also think that that businesses should take more action on this stuff than they do.
Right.
Like, we've all had a bad day, but if you're a repeat offender and you're just constantly sloppy and gross and smell that bad that it affects other people, then the business should and reserve the right to say, you're not welcome back here. Like, we give you a couple warnings on the third time, sir, you know, like, and I also think that part of that might be on us to, like, we should have complaint cards for customers. Like, we should have some form of action that's like an anonymous thing.
No, and this brings us back to a point we bring up all the time.
Yeah.
More public
shaming. End on shaming. More shame. I gave a good shame on the airplane on my last trip, and I had someone approve of my shaming. I did the whole thing where, you know, when somebody, like, on the plane, they get up from the back row and they try and skip everybody and run down the aisle so they can get off the plane first. Poor form. And I just started talking very loudly, basically saying, oh, look at these important people right here. They must be so important to get off the plane. And They pretended they didn't hear me. They fucking, like, just dead-eyed ahead. And the person across, like, the aisle from me, who was sitting next to the, you know, big woman, who ate, like, the 10 million snacks.
Right.
What basically turned to me and said, are you shaming them? And I said, absolutely, I'm shaming them. They should be shamed because it's very poor form of what they're doing. And she's like, I never thought to do that. I love it. She says exactly what she said.
That's the problem. People don't even think.
Yeah.
We've been so
I'm like, no, I will
from public shame.
I will shame because they are so important. They think they can get to skip to the front of the line and so on and so forth. And yes, I was even applauded for my shaming.
I like this.
Yes.
I like it.
And so it's I'm not the only one that feels this way, Mike.
I agree.
Guys, it's been a fun show. It's been a fun 2.0. It's been a fun week this week. We will get back to you next week. Mike, are you going to be out there at the Bad at Business Beer Fest this week or no?
No, I got to work.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to make it out there either, but hopefully our friends Tom and Dan have a good time with that. have fun out there this weekend. Have a good Thanksgiving. We'll probably be back right around that time, so you have some Thanksgiving listenings. We love you. Please support us if you can. Patreon.com/ONRS. Wherever you download your podcast, just search for Oh No Radio Show. That helps us out, of course, a ton. Twitch.tv/ONRS Live. If you ever want to catch us live, please subscribe. We can get a couple extra bucks from that as well. What am I missing? 407-906-6466 if you ever want to leave us a voicemail. What else I got, Mike? We got them all. Oh, TikTok, all that, yeah. TikTok.
Facebook, Twitch, Patreon. Check us out on YouTube, Oh No Media.
TikTok now.
TikTok, Oh No Media.
Oh No Media, just search for that. And we thank you for listening. And as always, what do we say when we get out of here? Eat a bag of dicks! And fuck your dreams, since I forgot to do it in the first segment. Love ya.
Love you guys. Bye. I gotta poop.